Oh, there we go. We are live. Hello, Internet. Oh, yeah, I could still definitely hear a reverb on your end, Ryan.
Okay.
I don't know if there's anything you could do. I know you can't use your headphones, but if there's anything you could do, if not, then we will make do. Could you maybe unplug the mic? Does the computer have a mic?
Yes, it does. Hang on.
No, Ryan muted himself for a second. All right. Anyway, while Ryan's fixing that, hello. This is our second ever Rag-NERD-rok Patreon backer game. And tonight we are going to be playing Delta Green. So hopefully you will enjoy that. Hopefully I can murder and or drive insane my players here. Ryan, how you doing?
I took the zoom out. How's that sound?
Much better. No more reverb, and we can hear you.
That's good.
So that sounds good.
Am I still like eating helium or?
No, and you're not even drinking helium anymore.
Nice. Okay, so that was entirely the zoom then.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, so as I said, tonight we're playing Delta Green. This scenario is Calls to the Dead. That's what I've named it, and that's what it is going to stay. So I think we're picking out pre-gens real quick. So Chad, have you decided what you're going to play?
I think I'm going to do the media specialist.
Okay.
He's like a video blogger.
Interesting. Okay.
He's kind of got skills across the board. He doesn't have any really high skills except for video art.
That could be interesting. Okay. Meyer, you said you're being a historian?
Oh yes, I'll be a historian. I know history.
Do you have a special, or is it just history in general?
Just history, man.
No, there's no. Well, some of them have specializations. I don't know if there are specializations for history. Okay. And right, so we've got a historian, a media specialist, and Ryan, what are you doing?
I'm still shuffling through these. How many anthropologists are there?
There are a lot. They're alphabetical by profession.
Okay.
It's 800 pages of pre-gen characters. So each page is a character. How about a federal agent? I'm just breezing through here. Historian, Meyer's got that.
I'll be the federal agent. Why not? Or one of the many, what I assume are the many federal agents.
There's more than one, yes. So you pick a federal agent, whichever one suits your fancy. So I mentioned do you know how to play the Delta Green, Ryan?
It's a percentile system, right?
Yeah. It's Eclipse phase rules. So you roll at or under your score, and doubles are crits.
Cool.
The other thing that, so basically a lot of it is like Call of Cthulhu. You'll see you have derived attributes, sanity points, breaking points, which is wrong on this sheet, and your willpower and hit points. Willpower is probably not going to come up, but that's for when you like stay up all night researching and doing stakeouts. You can lose willpower points, and if you get 0, you just like pass out. The one thing that's a little different, if you look at the top half of your sheet, number 13, incidents of sand loss without going insane. Basically, there's 3 types of things that I will call on sand checks for. There's violence, which is witnessing violence and gore. Helplessness, which is when you're helpless to help someone or do something or something along those lines. And unnatural, which is all of the mythos shit. If you lose sand without hitting a breaking point 3 times for violence or helplessness, you can adapt to it, which is good and bad, because if you adapt to it, you no longer have to make sand checks for those things. However, you break inside and are less of a person, so there's consequences for that. You can never adapt to wow, I just said it and it already left my brain.
Unnatural.
Unnatural, yeah, because it's unnatural. But if your breaking point is 1/5 Oh, okay. I see what they did on the sheet. So it's like Call of Cthulhu. Every 1/5 of your total sanity is a breaking point.
Okay.
So every time, so if you hit that before you've adapted to one of those, to violence or helplessness, you erase the boxes and start again.
Gotcha.
You have to do it before you go insane. Yeah. So like I said to Maya before you joined, most of the skills are pretty self-explanatory. Human is reading people and like telling when people are lying and being evasive. And SIG-INT is signal intelligence, so that's code work and electronic surveillance and things along those lines.
Cool.
That wouldn't be hacking computers. That would probably be a computer science check. But it might be like installing it could be like code breaking and things like that too.
Gotcha.
Any other questions about skills or how to do stuff?
No, I think I'm good. I've listened to a few Delta Green games before, so
Yeah. Okay. The other thing, it might not matter, but in case we keep going, every time you roll and fail, check the box next to your skill, and then at the end of the game you add 1 to that skill. So failing makes you better.
cool.
And sometimes if I call for like a straight intelligence or a strength score or whatever, they have your actual score and then your ×5 score. So you would roll the ×5, just like in regular Call of Cthulhu.
Where it is. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's on the top left. So your employer isn't quite as important right now if you guys want to put something in there. And your education and occupational history, that's all up to you. The one thing you might want to do is on the top right hand side, bonds. Bonds are people that you have a bond with. It could be family, friends, and during long campaign play, you can use those bonds to sometimes regain sanity. You can also use them to project sand loss onto. So basically, you can damage your relationships with people by blaming them for how you go insane. So if you want to jot down some bonds that you might have, I think everyone has 2 or 3. I did not go through all 800 of these characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like
4.
Okay, yeah. And the scores range from like 10 to 14-ish, depending. And that's your bond score, and that can go down. And if it hits 0, your bond is severed, and you can't like rely on that person anymore. Yeah. Okay. So with that, does anyone need a weapon before we start? Does anyone have a weapon skill that they would like to have a weapon to use?
I've got firearms at 50.
Yeah, as a federal agent, you would have a. I'm going to say you have a medium pistol, Ryan.
Okay.
So that is medium pistol, ammo capacity 15.
Hang on a second. Let me just so I can. Oh, that's nice. My entire sheet just turned pink.
Ooh, fun.
Okay. Hold on. All right.
So medium pistol. Yes, ammo capacity 15. Base range 15 meters, and damage is 1d10. Chad, Meyer, any guns or other weapons, blunt objects, knives?
I would probably just have. I don't have any skills in weapons, so I'd probably just have like a pocket knife.
Okay. So I'll just say a regular knife. It is 1d4 damage. And it has armor piercing of 3.
Nice, I guess.
Yeah. Meyer?
Sir, I am a scholar. I don't need any barbaric Weapons.
You'll talk them down.
Exactly.
Okay. Is there any special equipment that you do have, just so we know? Any of you?
My brain.
Okay.
I've got a small handheld camera with several SD cards.
Okay.
For taping.
It's probably a Canon SDLR at this point.
I suppose.
Since they're... let me mute my phone. I need to grab a scrap of paper. Which is... yeah. All right. So... I need some character names. So why don't we start with Shadows?
My character's name is Kai Van Kirk.
Kai, K-Y-E?
K-A-I.
K-A, right, okay. Van Kirk. Meyer?
I am Professor
Oh.
Walter Tuttle.
Walter Tuttle, okay. And Ryan? Did we lose Ryan? Ryan? Okay, we'll come back to Ryan. Yes, now we can hear you. What's your character?
I may have to relocate because...
Yeah, you're cutting in and out. All right, so we'll give Ryan a minute to relocate and get himself settled. Meyer, how old is your character? Are you like an old professor?
Well, let's see. It says on my sheet I'm 48, but I think I'm more like 58. I'm an older man. Big bushy beard.
Big bushy
beard.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, sorry about that. My internet's being real weird tonight. My character's name is Angelina Malay.
Angelina Agent.
Agent Angelina Malay.
Angelina. How do you spell your last name?
Malay. M-I-L-L-A-Y.
Okay. All right, so we got Kai, Angelina, and Walter. Cool. All right, so any last questions before we dive into this?
Nope, I'm just working on throwing a few bonds on my character.
Yeah, if you want to do that, I'm going to have to, when it comes up, I'm going to have to pull up, I forget exactly how to project onto what you have to roll.
I kind of vaguely remember you roll like a...
I think you make a second sand check, and if it succeeds, you can reduce your sand loss by 1d6, but it comes out of your bond. I mean, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, and then there's another version where you can like keep your shit together if you're about to
yeah,
go temporarily insane.
Projecting, there we go. Oh, okay. When your agent loses sand, you may spend willpower to reduce the loss. The amount is always 1d4. Okay. So you roll the die, and you reduce your willpower by that much. If you still have at least one willpower, you reduce your sand by whatever you rolled. And then you reduce a bond by the same amount. So that's projecting onto a bond. You can also repress an insanity. If you have at least one willpower, you roll 1d4. Describe how a bond might help your agent keep it together and reduce a bond by that much. Now attempt a sanity roll. If you succeed, your agent suppresses the insanity or disorder and behaves normally. Okay. So I'll keep that open, but yeah, if that comes up. I don't think it's going to be too heavy of a sand loss game. All right, so let's dive right in then. You three were all going about your daily lives when you received an urgent email notifying you that you have been invited to a night at the opera. Why not? And there is ticket information, which you all know is fake. This is your Delta Green code summons. There is an address that you have to go to, which is actually for an office building. And just for the sake of ease, it is located in Nashville, Tennessee. There's the Federal Building in Nashville, which is where you are all being summoned to. Angelina, you're probably already there. But Kai and Walter, you are given 2 hours to get there. And you know that this is not the kind of invitation that you can turn away from. So you make your excuses and head over to the Federal Building. There, you are ushered into one of the upper floor rooms. There's a small conference room with no windows, lit by fluorescent lights. And the three of you are sitting around a table. So why don't we introduce your characters and you can talk to each other a little bit.
All right. I guess I will kick things off. My character is, hi everybody, I'm Ryan, and I am playing Angelina Millay. She is kind of a slight woman, but very muscular. She looks like she has hair trigger reflexes, and she's wearing a denim jacket. She has a sidearm. She's got her FBI badge out, and she's just sort of shuffling some papers or something in a briefcase. We're getting ready for the briefing.
I'm Honor, and I'm playing Walter Tuttle. He's a professor, a history professor. He's an older man of 52 years of age. His hair's gray. He's got a bushy beard. Wears a sweater, some eyeglasses, and a man bun.
Oh, God.
He's a hippie professor.
Does he have elbow patches on his tweed jacket?
No, he's not a tweed. He's wearing a sweater.
Oh, okay. Does it have elbow patches?
Yes, it does have elbow patches.
Is he call me Walter, my dad is Professor Tuttle type of professor?
That's correct, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Nice. Okay, my character, this is Chados. My character's name is Kai Van Kirk. He's kind of casually dressed. He's got a dress shirt on over like a shirt with an alien gray's face on it. But he's pretty well kept. He's got dark hair, a little chin beard. He seems fairly confident. He has a camera, but he knows, in meetings like this, not to record or anything. He looks like he works out a lot. I mean, runs and stuff like that out at the gym, but he's not real big and tough looking. Pretty unassuming. He's 25 years old.
Okay. All right, so do you guys want to chat a bit, or do you want to just jump right in? So you all know why you're here. I'm going to say none of you have been on field ops yet, but you all got the call and know why you're here, though you don't know the specifics of the mission.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just kind of sit there nodding at the other two, kind of studying them.
Alex, and we're in Alabama?
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Right now you're in Nashville.
Nashville.
I see. What's the marijuana laws like? It's still illegal?
I'm pretty sure it's illegal in Tennessee.
All right, then never mind.
Probably.
Also, you're in a federal building. There is a very clear no smoking sign.
He's a rebel. Walter's a rebel.
Walter likes to think he's a rebel.
That's true.
Okay. So just when the silence is starting to get really awkward, the door opens and a man in a dark suit with a black tie walks in and sits down at the head of the table. So ladies, gentlemen, sorry to keep you waiting. Had to get some ducks in a row. For all intents and purposes, you can call me Agent Johnson. I'll be your handler. I know none of you have been out in the field before, but this is... we need someone to investigate, and you are the agents that we have on hand. It doesn't seem like this is going to be a world-ending scenario, so I'm confident that the three of you will be able to handle it. Now, I'm sure I don't have to tell you all about what happened in Pale Rock, Tennessee 3 years ago. And you all know, you don't have to, he doesn't have to tell you. You all remember, because it was big national news. 3 years ago, a tornado touched down in Pale Rock, Tennessee, with basically no warning. It tore through town and killed more than 300 people, and more than 50 of them were children because it hit the middle school, high school building before anyone really had a chance to get to safety. And the town only has a population of about 1,000, so that was a huge chunk of the town. You haven't heard much about it since, but for a week it dominated the news cycle. Well,
Yikes.
that is not why we called you here, though. A few days ago, 911 in Pale Rock received this call, and a friendly in the Tennessee State Police Department passed it our way after he came across the recording. Agent Johnson takes out a tablet and opens it up, and there's a media player app, and he hits play, and you hear slightly staticky, and you hear a woman's voice saying, 911, what is your emergency? And then you hear a man, he's like panting and sort of crying into the phone. He says, oh God, it's my wife and daughter. They're here. I don't know how. I'm upset. It sounds like he's yelling away from the phone. I'm sorry. The dispatcher says, sir, please come down. What's your address so I can send officers to you? And the man, kind of ignoring her, says, they're dead. They died. They're so angry. I'm sorry. I wish it was me. Please don't hate me. And the dispatcher, sir, please get to someplace safe. Officers are on their way. And then the caller, ignoring her, oh God, they're so angry. It's my fault. I'm so sorry. And then you hear the phone drop, and you hear the man scream. And as he screams, you can hear this low-pitched static. It sounds like when the bass on the car is driving, like a car drove by, blaring their bass really loud, but super low-pitched. So everyone make a sand check for that.
Nope.
All right. If you fail, it's 1. If you succeed, you're fine, and you can check off helplessness.
I failed.
All right. So just take 1. That's the recording ends. Agent Johnson looks at you all. The man on the recording has been identified as Harold Barrett. He is a resident of Pale Rock. He was talking about his wife and daughter being in the home. They died 3 years ago during the tornado. When the police arrived on the scene, they had to break down the front door because it was locked, as were all the other doors and windows. And the only thing they found was Mr. Barrett lying dead on the living room floor. There were no signs of a struggle and no forced entry. And after they performed an autopsy, the cause of death was ruled, quote, cardiac failure. When we first got news of it, we bumped up their toxicology reports, and it came back completely clean. No drugs in his system. So, we need you to go to Pale Rock and find out what happened. Is this a psychotic break or something else? Assess the situation. Report back if possible. If things escalate, then deal with them. Any other questions?
What was the name of the friendly in the local PD? We might want to touch base with him.
He was state PD. His name was Officer Smith. He's not local. He just Johnson tells you someone. He said that one of his friends on the force said, dude, check out this 911 recording I heard. This is so weird. And then he passed it along.
Gotcha.
The local sheriff in town, though, is not sheriff. Chief of Police Harry Biscardi.
Okay.
We have let him know that federal agents are going to be coming into town for an investigation, so he should be expecting you.
Excellent.
What's his name? Johnson reaches into a bag next to his side and pulls out 3 cell phones and slides one to each of you. These are your burner phones. Use these and these exclusively while you are on the job. The numbers for each of them have been programmed into it, as has a number that you can reach me at.
Got it.
If there are no more questions, I suggest you get on your way. Pale Rock is a few hours away.
Right. Before we go, I just have one more question. Are we going in with cover identities on this one? I mean, obviously these two are going to need them.
Well, we told them that a special federal investigation, a special federal task force was going to be investigating. Your ID should be sufficient if you say that they're specialists working for you. However, if you feel that you need different IDs, we can get that sorted out.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, because you're an actual agent, right?
I assume you're an FBI agent, Brian.
Yeah,
Is that what
that's what I was going with.
Yeah.
It looks like from my skill set, I've got like general competence, so I'm not like a psychological profiler or a SIGINT person or anything cool. I'm just like a federal cop.
No, that's fine.
So no code names then.
If you wish to go by code names, you can. But as of now, we don't have identities to back those up.
You can call me Snake Pit.
No.
Okay. I understand. That's a terrible nickname.
Yes, it is. They need to be believable. If you choose to go by a pseudonym, make sure it's an actual name.
I got you. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll
Well,
think of one during the trip.
great. You'll have about a 3-hour drive.
I'll come up with it then.
All right. Well,
You can bounce some names off us.
good luck. As I said, my number's in there. Hopefully, this is just a misunderstanding.
Let's hope so.
All right. So Johnson gets up and walks out and leaves the door open. Is there anything you guys would like to do? Anything you want to pick up before you get to Pale Rock?
Nah, not me.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the this sounds like some kind of a weird mental thing that this guy had. No toxicology, so I've never been on a field op before.
Nope, none of you have. That's what makes this so fun. Okay.
I got my camera. I'm happy.
Yeah. Okay. I'm assuming because you guys are Delta Green, you all have your go bags with you, so you have a few days of clothes and whatnot. Johnson gave you chargers with the phones too, so that's taken care of. Okay, so you drive out to Pale Rock, Tennessee. Pale Rock is out of character. It's a fictional town. I made it up. It's located in the western parts of Tennessee, on the border with whatever the next state is that I forgot. It's a wooded area, kind of hilly, not really mountainous, but hilly. As you drive into town, Main Street is really quaint. There's, lots of mom and pop shops. There doesn't really seem to be many big retailers. You pass a McDonald's. There's one motel in town. As for notable things, that's really it. There's not much here. You do drive by the high school, the Pale Rock Middle School High School. You could see that one side of the building is much newer brick than the rest of it. And it's kind of an eerie thing, but you realize that that's from the rebuilding. So where would you like to go first into Pale Rock?
I mean, I'm let the agent decide. This is their job, occupation.
Yeah, I'm guessing I'm driving, so I kind of like, without looking at either of them, just like staring at the road. I say, I figure we should touch base with the local law enforcement. They might not be happy to see us, but they can probably give us a lead or two.
Mm-hmm. Do any of you want to do any research on the way? Wireless internet is crazy these days.
Yeah, I guess we could look up Mr. Barrett and see if we can find any news stories.
Okay. So someone make is that a reserve research? No. I would take computer science or probably just. Really? There's no research skill? I thought there was. Well, I guess computer science for now. Yeah, unless anyone has another skill that they would like to use.
They got rid of library use.
Yeah.
I guess you just use the most applicable.
Yeah.
For researching.
So I would say computer science would be if you just want to Google them.
Dodge.
Yeah. Dodge if you want to get out of the way of the plots.
I'd like to stay home and watch the game.
Yeah, all right, roll Dodge.
I rolled a 35 out of 50.
Oh, all right. It's a great game.
All right.
GG.
Search. That could work too. Although well, it's more physical. I'd take search if someone has that.
All right, I failed my check. 42 out of 20.
All right, I can search. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's more like searching a scene, but
I passed. 51 out of 60.
51 out of 60. Okay, so are you searching for the victim or just the area in general?
The victim.
The victim. Okay. You pull up his Facebook page. Not a lot. He was in his late 30s. Harold. Oh, I wrote his name two different ways in my doc here. Harold Barrett, not Bennett. Barrett. There we go.
He has a name.
Late 30s. You see, you go back through his stuff. He, posts about how much he misses his wife and daughter. It seems like he doesn't have any other kids. The third anniversary of the hurricane just came up. Not the tornado. I keep saying hurricane. Tornado just passed 3 months ago, and that was really hard for him. He doesn't post a lot. He works at a local store. He works. I did not decide where he works. He works locally. Something. Yeah, he's pretty unremarkable. Just seems like a guy who's trying to deal with the grief of losing his wife and daughter.
All right. Well, that guy's boring. I will look up the area then.
Okay. You don't have to roll again. You got your success.
Okay.
So basically, everything you find is about the hurricane, the tornado. That's what Pale Rock is known for. But one thing that does catch your eye is you find a news report from last year for the second anniversary of the tornado. Local news was doing a whole bunch of pieces, and one that catches your eye is called Ghost Phone. So you click that on your phone, and a video starts playing. Yeah, it's a piece from a local reporter about a man named where did I put his name? Frederick Bertrand. He lives just outside of Pale Rock, and he has a telephone booth in his backyard, and people come and use the phone to talk to their dead loved ones. They don't claim that like they can actually talk to them like people are talking back, but it's sort of a therapy mechanism. And a few people in town, the guy who goes by Freddy mentions how since the tornado, a lot of people have been coming by. It used to just be him, but since the tornado, people have been coming by, and he's fine with it. So they come by, they just walk into his backyard, and it's a phone booth. So they open up, they sit down, and they talk to whoever.
Does it like have an actual phone in it, or is it just the booth?
It has a phone in it. It's not hooked up. It's not a working phone. But no, there is a phone. So like they pick up the phone. There's footage from far away. You can't hear anything, but there's a woman walks in and picks up the phone, and you can see she's talking, and then she just for like a minute or so, then she hangs up and she walks out and she's crying. And Freddy says how he hooked the booth up to his house power, so the light works, but the phone itself doesn't work. There's no connection.
Well, I will relay the information
to
the people.
Ghost phone.
Well, it makes sense. Tornado touches down, sucks up half the kids in the middle school. People need some closure.
Yeah. Okay. That's really all you find, research-wise.
Chad, out of character, what's your name again? Kai
Van Kirk.
Cool.
All right, so you guys pull into town, and Angelina, you said you're going to the police station first?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. So the Pale Rock Police Department is a small corner of the town's municipal building, which houses the town board chambers and the town court every other Thursday. As you walk in, you see that the department, as it currently stands, is 3 people. There's officers Mary Bertrand and Sal Stephanopoulos and Chief Harry Biscardi. Yeah. So you walk in. There's a desk to stop you, and you see 2 people. You see who you assume is Mary and Sal sitting at desks in the small room. And there's an office in the back. You can see it says Chief Biscardi on the door. And the man who's sitting there looks up as you walk in. Can I help you?
Yes, Angelina Millay, FBI. These are my associates, Kai Van Kirk and Professor Walter Tuttle. We're looking for Chief Biscardi.
Oh, you're the feds. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Mary. You watch them. Hold on one second. The guy gets up, walks to the door. The back knocks. You hear him say, "Chief." He sticks his head in, and you hear some mumbling. You hear a very distinct "son of a bitch." Then the guy walks out. Yeah, he's coming. A second later, bigger man walks out, and you see Chief Biscardi. He's taller than the guy who you first talking to. He's got on his big wide brim police hat, big mustache hovering over his lip, mostly gray, still has a little black in it. The little bit of his hair that you could see peeking out from under his hat is black. He walks over. Yep, I'm Chief Biscardi. How can I help you?
Pleasure, sir. As I said to your deputy here, I am Angelina Millay, Agent Angelina Millay, FBI. These are my associates, Kai Van Kirk and Professor Walter Tuttle. We're here to look into the death of Harold Barrett.
Can I see your ID, Agent?
Sure, I show him my badge.
He takes your badge and he stares at your picture and then looks up at you and then looks back down at your badge and up at you again and kind of frowns and hands it back to you. Yeah, all right, Barrett. Weird, but Emmy said it was heart failure, some sort of psychotic break.
You're the local law. He ever have a history of that kind of thing?
Look, Pale Rock's a quiet town. We don't have a history of much around here other than a few loud drunks and one or two guys that like to beat on their wives. No, he did not have a history of that. But after the tornado, as if that wasn't bad enough, there was quite a string of suicides. People who lost everything and their families just decided they didn't want to go on. Figure maybe it was a delayed response. But you're the federal agent. You want the files. You want to look around. Go right ahead. Just stay out of the way of me and my officers here. All right?
Of course.
Is the Emmy available in case we need to ask a few questions?
Emmy comes in from the county, but body's still downstairs in our morgue. If any of you want to take a look at it, I can give you the number. Or actually, Mary, the woman, sits up. Help these agents out. Show them the files and take them down to the morgue if they want. Agent, Mr. Van Kirk, Mr. Professor Tuttle, I'll be in my office if you need me. Officer Bertrand here can help you with anything that you might need.
Thank you, Chief. We appreciate the help.
Yep. So he walks back into his office. He doesn't slam the door, but he closes it a little harder than is necessary. And the female officer, Mary Bertrand, gets up and walks over. The desk that you're standing behind is one of those two-way swinging doors, and she pushes it open. Yeah, come on back. So you folks are federal agents?
Well, I am. These two are just task force with me.
Ah, wow, that's I've taken the FBI exam before. Didn't pass, but I think I'm going to try again.
That's the way to do it. Keep at it.
So the Bertrand file, not the Bertrand file, the Barrett file, right?
That's right.
Yeah, sure. 1 second. There's a row of file cabinets in the back of the room. She goes over to one, opens it up. She flips through some things. Here we go. Pulls it out. It's a thin file, not much in it. She hands it to you. Here you go. If you want to make any copies or anything, copies over there. It's pretty weird, right? She leans in.
Weird enough that they sent the FBI.
Just the Barrett case, though. You don't want to look at the other ones.
Other ones. What other ones?
Of course we want the other ones.
She leans in a little. Well, I mean, Harry here. He was the latest, but this was the fifth. She quotes cardiac failure. This in the last few months. Chief says that it's heart attacks. One of them was an old guy that said it was just natural causes, but every time we find them, they're like in their homes.
Well, massive MI can strike anywhere. What other than the cause of death leads you to link these victims? They have similar. Did they place similar odd phone calls before they died?
Oh, you mean the 911 call? Oh, there was only one other. Lainey Robinson. She was. It was similar. She was screaming about her brother, who died in the tornado, and then there's this weird sound, and that was it. God, her parents came home and found her on the floor. Jeez. I could pull that file if you want.
That'd be very helpful of you.
Yeah. I'll grab them all for you. So she runs off back to the cabinet. Takes a minute. Comes back with 4 files. They're all basically the same. These are not like thick movie files. This is like a few sheets of paper. Yeah. Here you go. This is these are all the ones.
Thank you, Miss Bertrand. Did you say?
Officer Bertrand. Yeah.
Thank you, Officer Bertrand. That name sounds familiar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought there was someone around here. There were some online articles about someone with that name around here.
Oh, well, okay. Out of character, totally by accident. But I'm going to roll with it. Oh, yeah, Grandpa Freddy. He lives just a little ways out of town.
Something about a ghost phone?
Yeah, that's Grandma died a few years back, and he said he bought it and put it in the backyard and told us he likes to sit there and talk to her. I mean, at first we thought it was a little weird, but seemed to help him get by. They were married for like 50 years when she passed, so it hit him pretty hard. And
that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, I mean, it's he knows he's not actually talking to her, so it's not like he's going crazy. And figure it wasn't hurting nobody, so why not?
Can I humant her?
Yeah, sure. Roll humans. Wait, what's your human at?
60.
You don't have to roll. No, yeah, she's telling the truth.
Okay.
She's not lying to you.
All right. There's nothing that she's leaving out, or yeah.
No. It just seemed like it's a weird thing her grandpa did, but like I said, he's not crazy and not hurting anybody, so why not?
Sure.
Right. Well, do y'all have a conference room or somewhere where we can set up shop for a few hours?
I mean, this is pretty much all we got. But if you go back out down the hall, you can head over to there's a conference room back in the main building. It's a Tuesday, so no one's going to be in there. She says the main, but like the police station has its own door, but it's basically just the side of the same municipal building.
So we have
and
to
it's
walk
connected.
around.
No. It's also connected, so you can get to it from the inside.
Gotcha.
But it has its own door, so when they're bringing people in, if they're bringing perps in, they don't have to walk through the whole municipal building. But she said, go down the hall, and it'll be on your right hand side.
Okay. Before we go, anyone want to get a look at the body?
I don't like blood.
I mean, he died of a heart attack, so there probably isn't much blood.
Yeah.
Do any of you have a medicine skill?
I have forensics at 30%.
If you want to try.
Sure.
Medicine at 20.
She said. Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, you can leave the files there. I'll bring you downstairs to the morgue. So she brings you downstairs. She hands you gloves and a mask. The morgue is like 3 trays, the 3 like storage cabinets, and 1 space. It's a pretty small room. She goes, yeah, usually it's just the old folks who pass that we get down here, and we'll keep them for a day or 2 and wait for the ME to come in from the county. But he got here fast for when we called in for Bertrand, because possible homicide, maybe. Those always get priority. Yeah, here you go. She goes to the middle drawer, opens it up, rolls it out. It's really sad. You see the cold body with the sheet. She goes, yeah, he doesn't have any family left in town. His brother's flying in from California to see the thing. So, we're just keeping him here until then.
I see.
She pulls back the sheets. Yeah, it's you see the face. I'll say you had in the file that they gave you. You had a picture, you saw his Facebook profile. It's the same guy. He's just dead. She pulls the sheet down, and you see he has the big Y incision in his chest and stomach. Yeah, you go ahead, take a look. I'm not much for this, so can't really help you there. So you can roll forensics and medicine. Meyer, if you have any relevant skills. There's no blood, though, so there's that.
I ain't got shit.
Wow. 22 out of 30.
Okay. So you take a few minutes. You examine the body. So you don't find any. There's no wounds. There's no puncture marks. There's no sign of any trauma to the body, other than like a bruise on his knee. Nothing indicative of what killed him. Yeah, so it's weird. Like with your crit success, I'll tell you, it's odd. Like it's like he just dropped dead. But he was on the phone. He was screaming. He was obviously in a state of panic. You heard the 911 tape.
Yeah.
But there's no indication that he was drugged. Like there's no puncture wounds or anything like that.
I'm gonna check his hands and his fingers. Any nothing like defensive wounds at all?
No, it's no defensive wounds. There's nothing under his fingernails. There's no cuts or stabs on his hands, like he was trying to block something. You see, I will say the one thing you see is that the knuckles on his right hand are a little bruised. Mm-hmm. It looks like he hit something hard.
Yeah, Alex, I am going to take some video and a few still pictures of this.
Sure. Do you want to roll for it, or do you want to just take it?
I guess
what's you said you had photography as a skill?
I got video at 60 and photography at 40.
Okay, yeah, if you want to take some video, that's fine. With 60, you don't have to. You take some video and some still. It's a dead body. It's not exactly a hard subject to photograph. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you take some pictures.
The whole scene with Ryan checking out the body.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. So you get all that. For the documentary, you can never show anyone.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's what you find out. There's nothing on. I mean, the only trauma you could see is the big Y incision
from the autopsy.
Yeah.
All right. I guess. Do you have the ME's notes handy, or are they in the file?
They're in the file.
Okay. Well, after I turn to my colleagues. After inspecting the body, I see no reason to disagree with the ME's conclusion. I mean, it is rather odd. He seemed to be in quite a state of panic when he died, and then he had a heart attack. So,
Yeah.
So case closed.
Weird.
Oh,
Check the house then, or
Well, case closed except for the 4 other people who have the same.
right. They sent us here to figure this out.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right.
I think we should at least go through the files, maybe talk to a few people around town.
Well, you are the professional, so you lead the way, ma'am.
Okay. So you go back over the ME's report. It basically confirms everything that you saw for yourself. Nothing out of the ordinary. The one normality is that he had very high levels of adrenaline in his system. But if he was in a state of panic when he died, that's not surprising.
Right.
Mhm.
All right. In that case, I'm gonna pass out the other files and tell them to look them over.
Okay. I guess that's going to be another search roll, or someone wants to use forensics or medicine to go over the files. Or search would work too. I'll take search because it doesn't really seem to be a. That's weird.
How does I'm sorry. I just noticed that my character has 20 percentiles in surgery, but 0 in medicine.
You're really good at cutting people open, just not so good at knowing why you did it.
Yeah. I think it's one of the artifacts of the 900 and some people, 900 agent PDF file.
Yeah.
Whatever they did to populate it.
So it's okay. You guys don't have to roll. So you go through the other files. They're all eerily similar. So the other victims, I wrote them down. So the first one, that's not alphabetically, chronologically, was a man named Ellis Murphy. The file says his wife came home from work and found him dead in the kitchen. The second victim was a teenager, Lainey Robinson. That was the one that the officer was telling you about that made the 911 call. The third victim was a woman named Paige Duncan. The fourth victim was an elderly man named Theo Watts. He had no one. He was living by himself. It was a few days before a neighbor went to check on him and realized they hadn't seen him in a while and went to check on him and found him. And the fifth victim was Barrett, the guy that brought you here. So 4 of the files are basically the same. The one that's different is Paige Duncan's. There is a statement from her husband saying that he saw her before she died. She was screaming. He was asleep and got woken up by her screaming. And he rushed downstairs, and she was standing in the living room crying and screaming about her son, who had died in the tornado at the school. There was no one else there, and then he heard this sound, and the lights flickered, and she just dropped dead. There's a note from Chief Biscardi saying that most likely it was some sort of psychotic break on his part to deal with the loss of his wife. But his statement's there, and so you have the addresses of all these people too.
Right. Well, unless you two trust the psychological credentials of Chief Biscardi, I feel like maybe we should talk to Mr. Duncan.
Aaron Duncan.
I'd like to check out the scene of Mr. Barrett's house there.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You could, you have his address too.
At some point.
Do we want to split up?
Okay.
I think we should stick together.
All right.
One of us might spot something or hear something that the others wouldn't be there to witness.
Fair enough. So why don't we start off with the most recent deceased? We'll go to Mr. Barrett's and check out the scene, and then we can talk to Mr. Duncan.
Sounds good.
Okay. So you guys head out to Harold Barrett's house. It's only about a 10-minute drive. Most of this town is pretty compact. So when you arrive, he has a small suburban house a few blocks off Main Street. You can see that there's still crime scene tape over the door, but you have a key that you got from the police, so you let yourselves in. So when you walk in, the first thing you see, you walk into the living room, and you can see that furniture has been shoved out of the way. The officer told you that they did that when they arrived, and to try to get Mr. Barrett onto a stretcher and get him out. It was not like that when they found it, but they pushed the furniture out of the way. So yeah. So if you like, you guys can make search checks or forensics if you want to examine the scene, unless someone has a really good search.
My search is at 50.
Yeah, you're gonna. All right. So yeah, roll.
I got 60.
Yeah, still roll.
18.
I got a 40.
Can I apply that to a forensics check since it makes it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I got 18 out of 30 on forensics.
So where are you forensicsing?
Well, I think the file we've got, does that have the death scene photographs in it?
Yes.
All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have either since I'm with two strapping gentlemen, I'm going to ask them to move the furniture back where it was in the photograph.
Okay.
That way the room is laid out the way it was.
Yeah, so you do that. That's fine. You reassemble the room.
And
So
I'm basically
you no. Continue.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say,
I'm
you
basically
can you can reenact with Kai while Professor Walter goes and searches around the rest of the house.
okay.
So what are you doing?
Sure.
I am basically trying to get a sense of where he was and what happened before he died. Like, was there anything like knocked over in the photograph? Did he tear the phone cord out of the wall? Like, where was the phone? Where was he coming from? Where was he trying to go?
So you look through the photos, start to piece together. It's a cordless phone. So you look around, and you don't see it you don't see the cradle in the living room. The cradle's in the kitchen. So you trace the steps. The phone itself is lying under an end table next to the sofa. And from the photographs, he was found sitting on the floor against the sofa. So it looks like he dropped the phone and it went under the table. Like
Okay.
that checks out.
So was he like hiding from something, or?
It looks with your success, it looks to you like if he went into the kitchen to get the phone to call the police, he could have backed up into the living room.
Okay.
It doesn't look so much like he was hiding from something, but maybe he was trying to get away or just put distance between himself and something. So when you walk into the house, you walk into a hallway. Immediately to your left is the living room, which opens up. There's a big wall. The living room leads into the kitchen, and the kitchen has a door that leads back into the hallway.
Okay.
The hallway goes through the house to a back bedroom, the master bedroom in the back of the house, and then there's a little office and another bedroom on the right side. So it's a small house. Well, I'm sorry. There's another bedroom and a bathroom. House needs that. No office. So yeah. So it looks like, if you piece together, it looks like maybe if he started, because the call came at night, so maybe he was in the bedroom and then ran to the phone and then backed up. You see one of the chairs in the kitchen table is askew. So you start to think maybe he tripped over that and fell, and then just kind of crawled to back away from something. So while you're piecing that together, Professor Tuttle, you start walking around the house and looking through all the different rooms. You don't find, so you open the first door on the right, and it's a bedroom.
Yes.
And you can tell it's a young girl's bedroom. Pink walls and dolls and things all over the place. It is very well kept, though. It's not dusty.
Maybe it's not a girl's room. Maybe a boy's room.
Well, he had a daughter, so it's his daughter's.
Hey,
it was his daughter's bedroom.
Don't you put genders on him?
I mean, it sounds like her parents did that.
That's true.
Yeah. So yeah, you don't find anything of note in there, but it does kind of tug at your heartstrings, as you can tell that he's been keeping the room clean. He's been dusting and cleaning, and the sheets are washed. And the next room is the bathroom. In there, you find you open the medicine cabinets, and you find in the bathroom a bottle of pills, a bottle of antidepressants made out to him from from Dr. Aspen Wells.
Okay, Aspen Wells.
You give the bottle a shake. It says it count 30 pills. You think maybe there's half that in the bottle.
Yeah.
You put that back. And
has he been overusing, or just he's following the directions?
Based on the date for when it was last filled, it seems like he was just taking the normal dose.
All right.
One a day. It seems like that's what he was doing. And so you put those pills back. The other thing you find is you walk into the bedroom. There's a queen size bed. You could see one side has been slept on. The other side has not been slept on, but you can tell the pillow there has not been touched. So you can figure out which side was his, which side was his wife's. You look around. There's pictures of the family and the wife. Nothing out of the ordinary, except when you turn to leave the room, you see the wall next to the door. It's a white wall, and you see just a little fleck of red. And you get closer, and you see a little dent in the sheetrock. It looks like someone punched the wall very recently.
His knuckle.
His knuckle.
His knuckle.
You want, Meyer, you can make a... I have too many things open. You can make an intelligence ×5 check.
Okay. I passed. 13 out of 85.
Okay.
I'm a smart man.
So what you realize, other than, yes, that was his knuckle, he punched something here.
Yeah.
He was taking antidepressants regularly.
Yeah.
His toxicology report showed nothing in his system.
Yeah, there's no drugs. I should have had antidepressants.
Yes, he should have.
Yeah.
So that's what you find.
Okay. Well, then I will bring it to my colleagues. Is everything finished here? You need any help, or you all done?
No, I think we got it. He picked up the phone here. Came from the bedroom, most likely, considering when the call went in. Picked up the phone, backed up through the kitchen, tripped over the chair here. into the living room, back against the sofa, and died.
Oh. Well, I've on my investigation of the house, I've come across two interesting conclusions. First off, his damaged knuckles seems to happen in his bedroom when he punched the wall.
Punch the wall.
Apparently, because there is a dent in the wall, and his knuckle was bruised. So, my conclusion there is he punched the wall for some reason. Second of all, it seems he has been taking antidepressants, which is normal. It all makes sense because his family. However, what's not very normal is that the toxicology report in his, his death, his whatever it's called, came out negative, clean, and there should definitely been antidepressants in there. So that's a weird thing.
It's strange. I'm gonna go take pictures of the dent in the bedroom wall.
Yeah, sure.
Rock.
You
Just to be
take some
thorough.
pictures. Yeah, makes sense. That was not in the police report.
Mhm.
The dent.
So maybe it's the report is not as accurate as we have been led to believe.
Well, I will tell you this, Professor. It was easy to miss. It wasn't. It wasn't an obvious dent.
The drugs?
No, not the drugs. The dent in the wall. The drugs you don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, it seems to me like the locals want to put this out of their mind. They don't want to dwell on any of this unpleasantness.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. But it seems like it's happening to multiple people. So,
yeah.
They're stupid, basically.
Sure, they want to put it out of their mind, all the deaths from the tornado.
It's just creating more death.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen anything that's all that unusual. But perhaps if we look into some of the other cases, we might find some kind of a common thread other than the, tornado survivors' guilt.
Okay. So where do you guys want to head next?
I guess we're going to see Mr. Duncan.
Okay. Yep. I will say this: it's midday. You get there. He is not home. He is at work.
All right.
So you can go somewhere else. You could go talk to the phone booth guy. You could try one of the other victims.
Do we have a record of?
Go ahead, Chad.
I was just going to say, do we have a record of where Mr. Duncan works?
He does not work in town. He's a commuter. He works about an hour away.
We'll have to wait then.
Professor Tuttle, you said that you found a bottle of antidepressants. Who gave him the script?
It was Dr. So-and-so.
Aspen Wells.
Aspen Wells.
Perhaps we can pay the good doctor a visit.
Yeah. She is local.
All right. So yeah, assuming she's not seeing a patient, we'll.
Yeah. Okay. So
drop in on her.
All right, you head over to her office. There's a small strip on Main Street. It's a little building. Looks like it maybe used to be some sort of store that closed down. There's a little waiting area with some plastic chairs and magazines. There's a little bell that rings when you walk in, and someone comes out that you assume is Dr. Wells. If you looked up put together in a dictionary, you would find a picture of Dr. Aspen Wells. You see a brunette woman of average height, shoulder-length hair, and dark, piercing eyes behind fashionable glasses. She's wearing a dark skirt and a simple blue blouse when she first comes in. She's pretty, but she's not overly so. And she walks out when she hears the bell. Oh, can I help you three?
Yes. Are you Dr. Wells?
Yes, I am. And
Hi.
you are?
I flashed my badge. I'm Agent Malay, FBI. These are my associates, Professor Tuttle and Mr. Van Kirk. We're here looking into the death of one of your patients, I assume, Harold Barrett.
Oh, yes, I had heard, yes. Oh, such a tragedy. Well, she looks at her watch. I have a patient coming in a few minutes, but if there's anything I can do before then, I'd be happy to help.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? That got a little garbled.
I said, she looks at her watch and says, I have a patient coming in a few minutes, but if there's anything I can do before then, I'd be happy to help.
It seems from his file, I wrote down the medication, the antidepressant that he was taking, that you had prescribed him, whatever, Xanax or
Yeah, sure.
whatever. Do you know, was he taking his medication regularly?
I mean, as far as I know, he never told me he stopped.
Okay. And before his death, had he said anything to you or behaved in a way that you found odd or concerning at all?
Well, I can't go into specifics, but there was no indication of any suicidal ideation, no aberrant behavior, or nothing that would make me think that he was any danger to himself or others.
Right. I'm gonna hum into her.
Sure.
Yep, 47 out of 60.
Yeah, she's telling the truth.
Okay.
No strange behavior.
Anything that he was doing other than the medication to cope?
I mean, we spoke about many things. He said he would often visit that phone outside of town. He said that it helped him to cope a little bit, and well, it's a healthy coping mechanism, so I'm not one to shy him away from that.
Of course. I turn to my colleagues. Either of you have any questions?
Nothing I can think of.
Well, if you do need anything, she reaches into behind the desk and pulls out a card. This is my card. Feel free. You see, it says, "You are not alone. Dr. Aspen Wells, grief counselor," and a phone number.
Great. Thank you, doctor. Thank you so much for your time.
And yes. All right. So you head out. She said, I help more, but I do have to get ready. I have another patient coming in a few minutes.
Of course.
Of course.
She heads back into a back office.
The ghost phone. How did I know it was going to lead there?
There's been a few clues pointing in that direction.
Almost like it's based on the name of the scenario.
How long do we have? Agent Malay checks her watch. How long do we have before Mr. Duncan gets off of work? Did I lose you guys?
I'm still here.
Did we lose Alex?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Alex is checked out.
All right.
Case closed.
Yep. Well, good scenario, guys.
Yeah, we did it, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for me.
We did it, guys.
So I guess as we're walking back to the car, I will. So in your lay opinions, what in the hell is going on here?
Sounds like the classic zombie scenario.
Hello?
Zombies?
Hey, he's back.
Oh God, there are two
Yeah.
Alexes.
Two.
I did that. It didn't want to internet for a minute there.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay.
are you Alex? Or you're
All right.
Alex?
So you left. I am all things.
Oh God.
I'm going to eject Rag-NERD-rok. Wait a minute. Let's see what happens. Yeah. Okay. I did not eject myself from the chat. Good. Okay. All right. So you leave Dr. Thing I got.
Yeah, we're gonna
Heading
see
to
if
the or
oh,
hello.
Hello.
Okay.
still there.
Stop. Yeah, I'm here. You're gonna see what?
Gonna see when Mr. Duncan was gonna get off work, maybe, if we have that information.
It's probably gonna be like another 2 hours before he gets home.
So we have time to go and visit Mr. Bertrand and talk on his ghost phone.
Yes. Yes, you do.
Sounds like it.
All right.
Sounds like a good course of action.
All right. So you heading to Mr. Bertrand?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. So you guys hop in your car. He's about a 20-minute drive out of town, not too far away. And as you pull into his driveway, you can see he's like on a hill. The town like laid out below you. It's actually a really nice view. So do you want to knock on his door, or do you want to just go straight to the phone?
Be rude not to knock.
Okay. So you walk up to the front. As you walk up, you can see the path splits to the backyard and to the front door, and there's a little collection box. It says donations. There's like a little slot in the top, and you can drop some money in. Door and give it a knock. Yeah, one second. Minute. And man, looks like he's in his 70s. He slacks and yellow polo shirt with. And he says, "Oh, can I help you folks?"
Yes. We're kind of strangers around these parts, but we've heard tell of the gentleman with the ghost phone. My friends and I thought we'd drop in and see what that was about.
Oh yeah, sure. You're from out of town. Come by. Yeah, come on. He walks out and closes the door. I'll show you. He leads you around back, or he starts walking the path. He says, some people, obviously, especially those out of town, they figure just walking the phone. It's fine. You can if you come back again, just go right on back. He passes the donation box. He said, if you feel like, obviously not mandatory, but any money that we do a charity around the victims of the tornado. So, some people, it's fine. We've raised over $1,500 in the last 2 years.
I'll give him a 10.
Oh, that's mighty kind of you, ma'am. Thank you. So he leads you to the backyard, and you see it. So the ghost phone sits in the middle of the backyard. It's a standard, though not really seen anymore, phone booth. It's got the aluminum sides, with plexiglass windows that Freddie has cleaned up, so you can see that none of the windows don't have like scratches and graffiti in them. The sides are clean. You see it has stickers on the side that say Bell, the company. And he goes, yeah, fortunately those stickers there are reproductions. I couldn't find originals, but I bought this about 7 years ago when my dear Agatha passed. I was just feeling really lost, and I just wanted to talk to her, and I saw this when I was at a flea market, and I thought, well, what the heck? So, I thought, fixing it up would give me a project to, keep me busy. Then once I did, I sat down inside and I just started talking to her, and I mentioned it to a few folks here and there. And after the tornado, well, some people started coming by asking if they could talk to their people because they didn't recover. Well, it's grisly business, but they didn't recover a lot of the bodies, and the people want to come by, especially the parents with the kids. We're just I just ask you keep it neat and respect the privacy of others. Don't go listen in on anyone's conversations. But so people come by, and then last year the news came by, did that story, and things really took off. So people have been coming from all over. I had a man that came all the way up from Florida to talk on the phone.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy. So he leads you back around, and you see the phone booth. And as you get close to it, you can see that from where it's sitting, you can see, like I said, the whole town. But you can still see the scar of the tornado. It's painfully visible. There's just this line across the town. The debris is gone, but not everything has been rebuilt. So there's a very visible scar across the town. So if you want, go ahead right here. This is the ghost phone. You see there's a wire running along the grass. I hooked it up to my house, so the light works. He opens the door, and you see the little light clicks on. Yep. Phone don't actually work, though. No dial tone or anything, The phone company wouldn't come hook it up. He laughs. So if you need anything, just come knock on my door.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. So you look at the phone. I'll tell you for free. You see that taped to the inside of the phone booth, right on the phone, is a business card for Dr. Wells. It's the same one that you have. Not the exact same. It's no. Taped to the side of the phone. So when you open the phone booth, that's one of the first things you see is a business card for Dr. Wells.
Okay.
It's kind of forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you guys want to investigate?
Sure. I will check it out.
All right. I would take forensics, search, if anyone has any kind of electrical skill.
Okay. Some SIGINT.
SIGINT would work, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just checking like the line and everything, see where it goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
Nope.
All right. I'm gonna go with straight search.
Okay.
28 out of 50.
Okay. So you start like pawing over the phone booth. You look around the outside. It's a phone booth. Like there's nothing weird other than there's a perfectly pristine phone booth sitting in this guy's backyard. So you go inside. You sit down. You feel underneath it. There's nothing there. Like you search all around the phone itself. You take the handpiece, the receiver. You take the actual phone off the cradle. You're about to put it back, and you feel, or you hear something shift in the handset a little, like from the mouthpiece.
Shift, huh?
Is it?
Like something moves inside.
Oh God. I'm gonna like.
Not like a lot wriggling, but like like when you pick up a piece of like an electronic thing that's broken, and like you can hear a part move inside.
Yeah, the circuit
It's like
closes.
yeah, something. It sounds like something's loose inside the handset.
Okay.
Is it the old-fashioned
So if
kind
you
of
want
phone?
to open it up, without breaking it, that's going to be a check. If you don't care about what happens to the phone,
No, he seems like a kindly old codger. I don't want to bust his phone. Hmm.
I would take SIGINT in this case. Or if you had any craft, like electrician or something.
I do not. I'm gonna lean out of the phone booth. Hey, either of you guys any good with electronics?
That old-fashioned phone?
Well,
I can try, but I know a little bit about electronics.
Or someone could try search. I would take another search.
we're just taking search. I can.
Yeah.
I got a 1 and 2 shot.
The professor is good at
There's, I think.
27 out of 50.
Okay. So you hold the receiver. So you hold the receiver to your ear. There's no dial tone or anything, and then you hold the mouthpiece. You shake it, and there's something in there, and you start playing with it, and you realize you can twist the cover for the mouthpiece off. So you twist, and there's something inside. Electronics. It's not. It definitely looks newer than the rest of the phone. If someone wants to make a SIGINT roll.
What the hell is this thing?
Try. Nope. My string of failures extends.
Okay. Well, you don't know what it is, but it looks like it has been wired into the handsets. Like you could see.
And it definitely doesn't match the other electronics.
No, it definitely does not. Someone put it in here. It looks like someone spliced it onto a wire. And you go to pull it off, and you touch the wire, you get a little shock because there's a current running through it.
This thing's live.
Yeah.
Would you accept criminology? Like, is this some kind of scam?
Yes, I would. I would accept criminology.
Is he recording people's conversations with their dead relatives?
No, you can roll.
No, 70 out of 50.
I've got criminology too.
Yeah, you can give it a shot.
Nope. Critical failure, in fact.
Ah, okay.
66.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's recording them.
That old man is recording. He's probably recording us right now. I go.
I'm gonna scream at the phone. Ah!
You scream into it, nothing happens. It's not. You can rip it out if you want the thing. You can rip it out if you want. It's not. It's not like soldered in there. It's just someone like spliced the wires together with their fingers.
Twisted them up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna unscrew the earpiece. Is there anything in that side of it?
No, it just looks like the old
Phone
speaker
guts?
thing that would be in there. Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? It's hard to imagine something being this man's phone. He wouldn't know about it.
Yeah, you would think.
All right.
Should we take it out of there?
I mean, you're the one with all the equipment. You know anything about this type of stuff?
That's right. You can make a video check. I forgot you had all those skills. You can make a videography check or whatever your video skill is.
I got that one, 43 out of 60.
Okay. You've seen similar things. You've never seen anything exactly like this. It's definitely a microphone, but it is wireless. So it is transmitting what it's picking up to somewhere. So you've worked with wireless equipment before. You realize it can't be more than a few miles. So like in town would be the furthest it could go. It's not like someone 100 miles away is listening in.
Okay. I put my hand over the mouthpiece and I whisper, "It's a wireless microphone."
Of course.
Should I take it out or leave it?
Well, you also realize that because of the power, it's picked up everything you've said up until you put your hand over it.
Yeah. Sure. So if someone's listening, they know that we're on to them.
Take it out. That's it for fingerprints.
Good idea. I hold it to Agent Millie.
I forgot my rubber gloves. We
you can make a forensic check.
Yeah.
If you want to try to pull it out without getting your fingerprints all over it.
We would have to hope that whoever installed this illicit device in the phone had their fingerprints on file somewhere.
DNA testing.
Yep, I made that. 19 out of 30.
Okay, so you managed to like wrap your shirt around your finger and kind of grab it and pull it out without touching it. There's a little spark as you just yank the wires out.
All right, I'm gonna screw the mouthpiece back on. Hang up the phone and put this thing in my pocket.
Okay, you do.
I'm going to step out and just kind of take some, in general video footage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you get some video. You take some still pictures of the phone booth with the town in the background. It's actually really nice in a somber way. All right, so do you want to talk to Freddy some more, or are you guys going to head somewhere else?
I think I'm going to shake down the old man, see what he knows.
Okay.
All right. He went back in the house?
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't want to be like hovering over you while you were.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, he wanted to go and listen to what we were saying to our dead loved ones.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So do you want to just walk back to the front door?
Yeah.
All right. You walk back, you knock.
I'm going to go around to the backyard in case he makes a run for it.
Okay, well, you're in the backyard now. So you,
all right.
You just like hang out there.
Yeah.
Okay. So
is there a door?
There is a back door. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'll stay there then.
Yeah. So you're like near the back door in case he tries to make a run for it.
Yeah.
I'll stay with the professor.
Okay. So the two of you are in the backyard. Agent Millet, you walk to the front door and give it a knock. One second. He opens the door. No, Gracie, that was me knocking. Come here. My dog is dumb. Sorry.
Gracie.
He opens. Oh yeah. Everything okay?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Bertrand. My friends are using the phone right now. I just wanted to thank you for welcoming us onto your property. I just did have one question though.
Oh, sure.
What is this? And I hold up the little device, and I'm gonna hum into him to see his reaction. And
okay.
Like genuinely puzzled, or if he.
Sure.
Yeah, 55 out of 60.
Okay, critical success. So he like adjusts his glasses a little bit and leans in. I don't know. He reaches out to grab it. I'm assuming like you pull it away. I don't know. It looks like some kind of microphone. Where'd you find it? Was it someone drop it outside?
No. It was in the mouthpiece of your phone out there.
What? With your success, yes, he is genuinely surprised. Well,
Live wired too. Somebody put a battery in there and has been.
oh no, they didn't put a battery. It was hooked up to power.
Okay.
So the handset the handset was getting power from when he hooked the booth up to the light.
Okay.
It just there was no dial tone, so they just
it wasn't hooked
hijacked
up
that.
to the phone. It was hooked up to power.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. In that case, I amend that. Somebody seems to have spliced this into the wires on your phone.
What? Why would they do that?
Probably to hear what a bunch of their friends and neighbors would have to say to their deceased loved ones.
Oh, that's people these days. Look. I don't know anything about that. I hope you're not implying that I was listening in on people. I just want.
You don't strike me as the type, sir, but it is. It is a terrible invasion of privacy, and I sure would love to get to the bottom of it.
Well, I mean, so a lot of people come by. I can't really think of anyone. I mean, the only person who's come by and hasn't. Well, everyone uses. Well, Dr. Wells didn't use the phone, but she asked if she could put her card there, and I said sure. She's a nice girl. She came in a few months ago. Heard that we were still all reeling from the tornado, and she's a grief counselor. So she just wanted to help people around here. So she seemed like a nice enough girl. So I said she could put the her card in the phone. Usually, other people have asked if they can put up advertisements and things, and I say no because it's not that sort of thing.
But you figure anyone using the phone probably could use some grief counseling.
Oh, exactly. I mean, that's kind of what it's for. I mean, I would go see Dr. Wells myself, but I've come to terms with my Agatha, so I'm a little past that now. But I mean, there's a lot of people around here who aren't. She was telling me she's been all over the world helping people. That's just that's mighty fine stuff.
Really?
Yeah, she said she's been all over the world as a grief counselor, helping people after tragedies, big natural disasters and things like that.
I see. Well, Mr. Bertrand, I hope you don't mind that I disconnected the microphone. I'd like to hang on to it if you don't mind.
No. Well, shouldn't we call the police? Is that?
Well, afraid I haven't been 100% honest with you, sir. I take out my badge and I show him.
Okay. Well, then I guess you are the police in this case. So
that'd be right.
That's fine. Yeah, you take it. Was that the only one?
As far as I can see.
All right. Well, do you have a card? If I think of anything, or if I see anyone prowling around, I'll give you a call.
I don't want to give him. Do I know the number of one of the burner phones?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna. I don't happen to have any with me, but I scroll down the number of the burner phone and I give it to him.
Sure. Oh, thank you, Agent Millet. I appreciate that.
Do you mind if my associates and I take a closer look at the phone? We promise we'll do our best not to break anything, but
what do you mean?
Well, I don't really think that there'd be much else hidden in it, but you never know.
Yeah. Well, if you think it's going to help you catch whoever put that there, then sure, I suppose so.
Well, all right, we'll give it a quick once over. I feel. All right, thank you, sir. I'm gonna head back around to the back to my colleagues. Um, wasn't him.
Wasn't him, huh?
No, I know how to read faces, and unless he is a class A liar, it wasn't him.
So you think someone installed this while they were out there at the phone booth?
Well, you guys can look around. There's no security here or anything. He doesn't even have a fence
Right.
around his backyard. So
Yeah, people just
anyone.
walk up. Anybody could have put it in there.
Yeah.
Well, you're the equipment tech, Kai. Do you think is there any way to trace what frequency this was broadcasting on, and maybe see where its receptacle was? At least you should narrow down how far it might have been broadcasting.
Yeah, I could take a look at it. We'll see. Not an expert, but I can try a few things.
What would you like to roll? Because that's a much more specific task than identifying it.
Yeah, computer science or
SIGINT. SIGINT would work. Or, yeah, computer science or SIGINT, whichever is higher for you.
Yeah, about the same. Nope, 54 out of 20.
Yeah, and that's outside your skill set.
Yep.
Like you said, you know it's short range, so it's not too far away. It's probably somewhere in town. Other than that, that's really all you got.
Okay, and I'm going to try not to handle it, so in case we can get prints off it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got it in like a handkerchief, so.
It's definitely short range.
Think you could get to the police station from here?
How far was that?
Yeah, it could.
Okay, so anywhere in town is.
Yeah, basically anywhere in town is fair game.
All right. Well, when I asked Mr. Bertrand, the only name he came up with was not that she was acting suspicious, but was Dr. Wells. He said that she came in and didn't use the phone, but asked to leave her card. She said she had helped people all over the world after natural disasters and such.
How about her office? In range, right?
Yeah. About this, you guys realize that if you head back to town, you'd probably get to Mr. Where is it? Mr. Watts' house. Nope. Yeah, Duncan. Mr. Duncan's house, and he should probably be home. Or you could stick around here some more.
All right. Well, I feel as though it is a time-sensitive matter that we figure out where this thing, who's on the other end of this microphone, because if they did hear us, then they're probably packing up shop.
Good point. It's unpowered now, so we probably can't be recorded now.
No, it's not recording anymore.
Good deal.
You could try calling in your handler, see if he can get you some help.
All right. Sure. Someone want to call Agent Johnson while I look for the die I just dropped?
Why not?
All right, so you pull out your burner phone. He's one of only 3 numbers in there, so you dial it. Mm-hmm. Johnson.
Johnson, we have a piece of electronic equipment, a short-range microphone, wireless microphone, found in this ghost phone, quotation marks.
Ghost phone, okay.
Yeah. We can't really figure out who's recording with this wireless microphone. Maybe we can get some fingerprints off it. I'm not sure.
Well, if you want to try, you can bring it to the police station. They'd be able to dust it.
Okay. You suggest we do that then?
If you think that's the most viable lead, sure.
All right. Received. I think we will do that.
All right. He hangs up.
Okay. So yeah, he says we could bring it to the police station to dust for prints. I guess we could research Dr. Wells maybe a little deeper.
Yeah, you could do both those things.
Someone want to look into that? I am gonna be right back.
Okay.
Sure.
So who wants to do some research? I'll take search again.
All right, I'll do it. Here we
All right.
go.
Roll that.
I fucking failed.
All right. Well, what'd you get?
7.
Critical failure.
Yeah.
Critical failure on research.
Oh man.
Okay, so you're in the car heading back to town. It's like a 20-minute drive, so you pull out your phone and you're doing some Googling. And you don't find anything weird about Dr. Wells. It's perfectly normal.
All right.
She's clean, huh?
Appears so.
I guess I'll have to accept that.
You have no reason not to.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I am an expert at my research.
He is a historian. He's
I
great
am a
at
historian, sir.
So you tell us. You are an expert.
So I will give you this. You do find that there is a medical clinic in town, and she is not affiliated with them. She has her own thing. But there's the Pale Rock Medical Clinic. It's like an emergency services place, so it's like one of those clinics that have popped up all over. The town's not big enough for a hospital, but they have like a doctor and some nurses on staff and can do X-rays and like simple surgery, and have a pharmacy there to fulfill prescriptions. But so like they could set your broken bone or remove your tonsils, but anything worse than that, you have to drive to the city to the hospital.
Sure.
And they do have a therapist on staff, but it is not Dr. Wells.
Private therapist. I guess we can bring in the chip and have them dusted for prints.
Sure. Okay. So you drive to the police station. It's gonna you drop it off with. I mean, I'm not gonna make you role play it. They're helping you, so you drop it off. The officer Bertrand says, "Yeah, sure. We'll dust it." She grabs gloves, puts on plastic gloves, and takes it. So if I find anything, I'll give you a call.
All right. Thank you.
She takes it. So do you guys want to head over? What?
Yeah. Just said thank you to.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Glad I can help.
I guess we'll head over.
So do you guys want to head over to Mr. Duncan's?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I just had to run to the bathroom real quick.
Unacceptable, Ryan. You missed everything.
I will try to restrain my bodily functions in the future.
It turns out that the big bad guy is Agent Angelina Millay.
Along.
All right, so you go to Mr. Duncan's house. You pull up. You can see a light in the front window and a pickup truck in the driveway. Yeah.
All right. So I guess I will kick things off. I'll go up and knock.
Okay. You ring the bell. You see. You hear footsteps walking towards the door. You see curtains kind of pull aside for a second, and someone looks at you, and then you hear unlocking and the door opens. So you see the man you assume is Aaron Duncan. He's about 6 feet tall. He's got a stubble on his face. He looks haggard. Can I help you?
Are you Mr. Duncan?
Yes, and you are?
Angelina Millay, FBI. I was wondering, these are my associates, Mr. Van Kirk and Professor Tuttle. We are in town looking into some mysterious deaths, and one of the officers at the Pale Rock PD had mentioned that you lost your wife a while back under somewhat strange circumstances.
Are you here to tell me about my psychotic break?
Well, I was hoping that you could shed some light on what might have happened. The police chief here, to be quite honest with you, he seems fairly dismissive of a lot of these events, and we're really hoping to get to the bottom of them. Is there a fast talk skill that I can, or
I think it would just be humans or
I'm cool with that.
Persuade.
Persuade, not as good, but still good.
Well, no, you don't have to roll for it. He
Okay.
He says, "Yeah, Harry's a real piece of work. Yeah, come on in." He steps back and opens the door.
All right, so we enter.
Yeah, so you could see his house is disheveled. There's clothes on the couch, maybe dirty, maybe clean. You could see plates stacked up in the sink, empty food containers on the counter. There's a small. It's pretty much the exact same layout as the last house you were at, and the kitchen table has half a bottle of whiskey on it and one glass. You want some coffee or something?
I'm fine, thank you. I glance over at my colleagues.
I'm good.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah, sure. So he walks into the kitchen, opens one of the cupboards, looks around, grabs a mug, looks at blows into it, puts it under the tap, swirls it around, dumps it out, fills it up again, opens another cupboard, grabs a thing of instant coffee, dumps a scoop into the mug, swirls it around, and then sticks it in the microwave for a minute. And then pulls it out and hands it to Professor Tuttle. Here you go.
Thank you kindly.
You sip it. It's disgusting.
Yep.
It's like 3-year-old instant coffee in a dirty microwaved mug. So, you wanted to ask about my wife?
Yes. I hope I hope it won't disturb you too much to walk us through the evening of your wife's death, the night of your wife's death. As I understand, it was quite late.
Yeah. He gestures to the table. Yes, sit down. So he sits back down in his chair, pours himself another glass of whiskey, and downs half of it. It was 2:30 in the morning. I remember because I saw the clock when I woke up. There was a scream. It was Paige. I heard this blood-curdling scream. Bolted up. She wasn't in bed. I looked around. I didn't see her. Then I heard another scream from the living room. So I ran out down the hall, and I saw her there. She was just standing in the middle of the living room, crying, screaming about Peter. That was our son. He died in the tornado. But she was saying that she was sorry. Peter, forgive me. I'm so sorry. There was no one there. She said, I wish it was me, Peter. I'm so sorry. And I ran to her, and he downs the rest of his drink. And he says, as I was, right before I grabbed her, her eyes went wide, and there was this noise, like when a car drives by with the bass, but it was distorted and deeper than bass, and my skin tingled and the lights flickered, and by the time it took me to run, he points from the hallway to the middle of the living room, Paige was dead. I grabbed her. She collapsed in my arms, and yeah, I don't know what happened. I spoke to Dr. Wells about it. We were both seeing her, and it's been tough. Then Harry says that I had a psychotic break, made up the whole noise and light thing. I tried to tell him that I didn't. I remembered it. I was stone cold sober, but yeah, that's what they told me.
Now, Alex, out of character, do we have that recorded 911 call anywhere on us?
Yeah. Which one?
The one from Harold Barrett.
Yeah, sure.
Because Johnson gave it or played it for us at the beginning. I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
You
have a copy of it, sure.
Okay. Was Mr. Duncan a few nights ago? Another gentleman in town, Harold Barrett, experienced a similar tragedy as the one that befell your wife.
Harry too? Jesus.
He happened to be on the phone with a 911 dispatcher when he died. There are some rather strange electrical distortions on the recording. I was wondering if you wouldn't mind listening and telling me if it was what you heard.
He fills his glass back up and takes another swig. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna play the recording for him.
All right, you hit play. It's a short recording. It's only 30 seconds. You don't have to make a human roll to see that he is really fucking freaked out by it. He downs the rest of his glass. And when the recording stops, and he puts his head in his hands, says, "Jesus, that's just what Paige sounded like." And that noise, I'll never forget that fucking noise. That was it. That was the noise. That's what I heard.
Okay. So obviously there's some connection between Mr. Barrett and your wife. You just have to figure out what it is. You said you were seeing this. You were seeing Dr. Wells?
Yeah, we both were. We were going together. She had prescribed Paige some antidepressants, but she just gave me some recently after Paige passed. Doesn't really seem to be helping much, but I guess it's better than nothing, right?
You've been taking the pills?
Yeah, I've got them in my medicine cabinet. I think I still have some of Paige's left too, but I haven't haven't been able to bring myself to get rid of any of her things.
Do you mind if we take a sample, one of the pills, maybe?
Sure, if you think that'll help. You want me to get them?
That would be wonderful if you could.
Sure. Yeah. 1 sec. He gets up, walks over to the bathroom. Light. You hear the light turn on. He moves the cabinet open.
While he's gone, I quickly flip through his wife's file. Was her talk screen clean?
It was.
I tap it. I tap my finger on the talk screen and I show it to them. I think Dr. Wells is giving people placebos.
He comes back a minute later with 2 bottles. And he he opens them up. This one's mine. He puts the pill down. This one's Pages. They're the exact same thing.
All right. And tell me, had either of you ever been out to Frederick Bertrand's place at the edge of town?
You mean Freddy with his phone?
Yep, with the ghost phone.
Yeah. I didn't. That's not for me. But I know Paige told me she went, a few times. She said it helped to just talk. But I don't know. That's never really been my thing.
I glance meaningfully over at my colleagues and see if they have any questions.
The professor's just looking disgusted by drinking this shitty coffee.
It is terrible.
Don't you have any chai?
It's not even ethically sourced, Meyer.
Man,
this is disgusting.
So,
other than he seemed to know Harold Barrett. They're friends.
Well, I mean, it's a small town. Everybody knows everybody. You didn't get the impression that they're friends necessarily, but he knows of him.
Yeah, he said something about describing a psychotic break.
No, he said that the police officer said he had a psychotic break when he told them what happened about the lights flickering and the sound. The police chief said he probably just had a psychotic break because he watched his wife die, and he was saying, "No, I know what I saw," but no one believes him.
Okay.
I just accidentally named both the police chief and the guy with the phone Harry.
Yeah.
That's the confusion.
I think so. Any other questions? Can we take one of each of their pills?
Freddy's the guy with the phone. Harold Barrett is the dead guy.
And Chief Harry Viscardi.
He's also Harry. Yeah, that's my fault.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, what did you ask?
Can we take one of each of their antidepressants?
Yes, the pills. Yes.
And maybe have them tested.
You certainly can.
Thank you.
You can also see that the same pharmacy prescribed them both, which, Meyer, you realize it's the MediClinic. It's the only pharmacy in town.
I see.
Maybe we can pay them a visit.
Well, I don't believe the good Dr. Wells is at fault. Like I said, I did do my research, and there's nothing suspicious about her.
And Aaron, who's in front of you, said, Dr. Wells has been great. She's trying to help me through all my grief. I know she says it's tough. Sometimes you have to the surface to realize how to cope with them. So it's been tough, but I think we're getting somewhere.
How long has Dr. Wells been in town?
A few months now. She showed up, I think about 10 months back. Set up shop down on Main Street. Lots of folks in town go to her. Not everyone. Now, some people head over to the clinic, but she's specialized in grief counseling. That's why Paige and I started going. Now she has all these pictures in her office of all the different places she's been helping people.
All right. Well, Mr. Duncan, thank you so much. You've been very helpful. If we come across any leads or if we have any other questions, is it okay to contact you?
Yeah. So what's this? What's this about? What do you think happened to my wife?
I don't know yet, but I have a feeling we're getting close to something. I'm gonna do the same trick. Scribble down the burner phone number with no name on it.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Oh yeah. If I think of anything, I'll give you a call. Sure.
Thank you, sir, and thank you for the coffee on behalf of Professor Tuttle.
Oh yeah. No problem. All right. So he escorts the three of you out and closes the door behind you.
All right. So my player was out of the room when you made your research check, Professor Tuttle. So what exactly did you find?
Well, I said she's completely clean.
Professor Tuttle rolled a 77 out of 60.
Great.
And found absolutely nothing strange about Dr. Aspen. But he did find out that there is a medical clinic in town. Did you hear me describe that?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
It's like the one clinic pharmacy area.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm guessing if we go back and have these pills tested, we're going to come back with placebos.
Maybe.
And
I mean, I don't think so.
Only one way to find out.
Yeah, let's go see if we can test those out, see what they are.
All right, if you insist.
I will suggest you could also go talk to the pharmacist.
Yeah.
Might be a little faster.
What happened?
You could talk to the pharmacist.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Just as a suggestion.
That's true.
He's the one that actually dispensed them.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
He would know what what was prescribed, or she, or they.
Yeah. So the pharmacist is at the medical clinic.
All right, so we'll head on down there.
Okay. So you head down to the clinic. It's a shiny, bright building, one of the newer buildings in town, and you can see that when you get there, there's not many. There's a few cars in the lot. It seems pretty quiet because it's about 7:30-ish, pushing 8 o'clock. They're open till about 10, but yeah. So you go in. It's quiet, and there's a nurse sitting behind a desk. Can I help you?
Yes. I flash my badge. I'm Agent Angelina Millay with the FBI.
Oh.
I was wondering how I could ask you a few questions. Are you the person? Are you the pharmacist here? Do you fill prescriptions, or is that somebody else?
Oh no, you. She points. You need to go down the hall here. The pharmacist should still be in. That's Mrs. I did not give the pharmacist a name. Mrs. Petrelli.
Do we have to dig?
I don't. What?
Never mind. Thank you. You've been a big help.
Yeah. Sure. So you walk down the hall, and like 50 feet away, you see there's a pharmacy counter, and you can see tons of pills laid out behind it. And there's a middle-aged woman you could see like with glasses typing on a computer off to the side.
All right. So I will wait until she's done and.
Can I help you? Do you have your prescription form?
Mrs. Petrelli.
Yes.
Hi. I'm with the FBI. I show her my badge. I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions about some scripts you filled.
I can do my best. Hip as a bitch, but what do you need?
All right. Well, without identifying the patients, I place the pills on the counter that we have.
Okay.
We obtain these pills from two people in town. Can you tell me what they are?
Okay. She adjusts her glasses, picks one up, and looks at it. These, mm-hmm. These are some of Dr. Wells's antidepressants.
You sound pretty highly skeptical of them.
Look, they're not antidepressants; they're placebos. I called her office to confirm.
What?
The first time she sent someone down here with this prescription, I called the office to confirm. It's intentional. She doesn't tell the patients, but she said that she believes in a holistic approach, and so she gives the patient. There's these days in medicine, she says there's an expectation of pharmaceuticals. So she prescribes something. She writes like Xanax or something on the prescription form, but gives it a number underneath it, which lets us know that we should fill it as a placebo. So yeah. So everyone who's been seeing her has been getting placebos instead of actual antidepressants.
I see. And how many of these scripts have you filled?
There's about 20 people in town, I think. I'm pretty sure a few more than that see her, but, you know, she just came out of nowhere and set up shop. I mean, the therapist here is a little pissed, but, yeah, some people, you know, they see the globe-trotting woman and think that she's going to be so much more help than someone who knows you and knows what you're going through. But I just fill the prescriptions.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Petrelli. You've been a lot of help.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
He slides the pills back to you. Gives them.
Yeah, I take him, and I turn to Professor Tuttle. Perhaps we better take a second look at Dr. Wells' history.
I mean, if you insist.
You can roll search again.
I don't think this is gonna come up with anything more. I passed 57 out of 60.
I was actually really hoping you were going to roll like a 77 again.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so you dig a little deeper this time. You look through her Facebook. She doesn't have a website for her practice. She has a few reviews on Yelp locally. Nothing crazy. People saying that she's great. She helped them. But her Facebook page is a little weird. It seems very posed. The only pictures you see, there are pictures of her. There's one of her in the mountains somewhere. One of her on a beach that may be Asia. They're all tagged in locations, and you realize that they're all locations where disasters had happened. And she's there later so it seems from these posts that she has been to these places like 2 or 3 years after the disaster.
A tornado.
Yeah, there's like a tornado, a tsunami, earthquake, hurricane. She's been all over.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so there's no pictures of her with other people. Every once in a while, she'll make a post about, like some inspiration, one of those like inspirational quote things. She'll repost that about how you can't give up, and there's always darkest before the dawn, etc., etc.
So her Facebook feed is full of disasters and cat posters.
It's not full of disasters. There's no disaster scenes in the pictures. She's there afterwards. It seems like she's there long enough after that the cleanup is done, Not necessarily all the reconstruction, but they got all the stuff out of the way. That seems to be when she goes in.
All right.
And then, cat posters. There's nothing personal about her. It has her current office listing here in town and a phone number, which you recognize as her office phone number. That's the only personal information.
All right. Can I bureaucracy to check her with like the APA? Like, she's a doctor. Where did she get her doctorate? Where is she licensed to practice? Like,
yes, you can.
That is a 38 out of 40.
Okay. You make some phone calls. It takes you about, it's still bureaucracy, so it takes you like 45 minutes. She is licensed, to practice in a handful of states, Tennessee being one of them. It seems that she got her degree from the University of Texas in Austin. I don't know if they actually have a psychology program there, but in this case, they do.
Okay.
That's what you get. So she is licensed.
So she has like. Go ahead.
It's the degree was issued in 1995.
Okay.
She did not look that old when you met her.
Wow.
She looked like she was maybe. How old are you, Ryan? How old is your character?
I'm thinking in her mid-30s.
Yeah, she looked about your age.
Oh no, wait, I'm wrong. There's an age here. 51. So I'm older.
Well, then she looked in her mid-30s.
Just before everything starts to sag.
So she looks, by her degree, she probably should be around your age, but she's not.
She keeps herself very well. Do I get anything about like ethical complaints on her file or?
No complaints. It seems that there have been some pharmacists who have filed complaints over the years about her practice of over-prescribing placebos. But that's only come up maybe 3 times in the 20-some-odd years that she's been practicing.
All right.
But those go back many years. It's not a new thing. And it's only from when she's in the U.S. She's in Mexico.
Right.
You don't have access to that. Yeah.
As we've heard. I think it's time we paid the good doctor another visit.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is later. Her office is closed. That would not stop you from going in. I'm just letting you know the office is closed.
True. Well, we can B&E at her office, or we could like surveil her
you
home
can try
address,
to find
maybe.
Yeah, her home.
Yeah. I guess we could look that up anyway.
Figure out where she's staying in town.
Yeah. As we decide whether to break in or not.
I can ask one of the officers.
Yeah. I would say that's going to be another bureaucracy check.
Okay. Nope. 65 out of 40.
So you call. It's not that they don't want to give it to you. They don't know.
Okay.
The officer said, "Yeah, I heard that she was renting a place in town, but that's really all I know. She's renting one of the houses. There's a few houses for rents, and she's in one of those."
All right. Well, thank you for the information. I guess we'll check around.
Yeah. If anyone comes by who knows, I'll give you a call.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Well, kind of anxious to find her. I don't know about you two, but if she is the one who's been listening in on everyone's calls, then she probably heard us with the phone, and she probably knows that we could be onto her at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of clues pointing in her direction.
So we're not going to go on the assumption of innocent until proven guilty. I mean, you have no proof that she did any of this.
I have no proof, but I know where we can get some.
And where's that?
At her office. Before we go, picking locks or anything, can I do a quick walk around the place, see if I notice any security cameras or alarm systems or?
Sure. Make a criminality check.
Yeah, I'll look around too.
Sure. Same thing. Criminology.
Criminology.
Got it on the dot. 50 out of 50.
I got 23 out of 50.
Okay. So you both notice there's a security camera in. So it's like a strip mall kind of thing. So there's 4 stores storefronts up against each other. She's the second one in from the right. So you see there's a security camera on one corner in the back and all the way on the other side. So there's probably a gap in the middle. You don't know if you can get to it without being spotted, but you don't see any security cameras in the front.
All right. So you mean in her store or on the strip mall itself?
No, on the strip mall itself, in the back. There's security cameras, but there's none in the front.
There's nothing in the front. But the front is presumably open to public view.
Yes, it is. It's street side.
But it's a fairly small town, and not.
Yeah, it's pretty quiet now. Yeah, it's pushing probably 9:30, 10 o'clock now, and it's pretty quiet. There's only a few cars that you can see out on the road. You suspect that if you wait a little longer, it'll probably be really quiet.
Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, we'll wait a little while, and then I'll try to pick the lock.
Okay, so you wait until 12:30, and the cars are down to one every 5 minutes. So that's probably the best chance. I don't think there's a lock pick skill. No, it's going to be criminality again.
Okay.
Criminology. I keep saying criminology. You know what I mean.
Yeah. 33 out of 50.
Critical success. You pop that lock open.
All right. I guess I'm going in kind of paranoid. I got a hairnet and gloves and the rubber booties. I don't want to leave anything.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Okay. Are you all going in or just Agent Angelina?
I'm going in.
Professor?
I'll watch the door.
Okay.
All right, so the professor's hanging out front. So the two of you sneak in with your 33. You get in, and definitely without being seen. So again, the office, it's dark now, but the front waiting room is a waiting room, and there's a door in the back for the office.
All right.
It's closed, but it's not locked. So you just open it up. And there's a therapist office. There's a chair. There's on one side of the room. On the other side of the room, there's another upright chair, and there's there's a couch, and there's a reclining chair for people who want to do that. There's a bookshelf with a few therapy books. And like Aaron said, you could see pictures all over the walls of her. And you notice that they are the exact same pictures that are on her Facebook page, just printed out and framed on the wall.
Sure.
Yeah, and there's a little desk and a filing cabinet.
All right. You want to go through the filing cabinet? I'll take the desk.
Sure.
Okay. The
got
filing
my,
cabinet is locked, but with your crit success from before, I'll say you just, Angelina, you just click it open.
On my way to the desk, I just like elbow it like the Fonz, and it pops open.
Yep. Okay, so what are you rolling to search through things?
Rolling search, I guess.
Okay, what's your search at?
20.
You can roll I would allow criminology again.
Okay.
Or
I'll do that.
do you have psychotherapy?
At 30, yes.
Okay, so you don't have to. You can use psychotherapy,
Okay.
and I will tell you something. So you start going through the files, and you realize that they are pretty much normal therapy files. There's notes from her about the trauma that people are going through. What strikes you as odd is that there's no real notes about any therapy that she's doing with them. Like, it seems like all the notes are about the trauma that people are going through and the grief they have and how bad they're feeling, and nothing about, like, we're starting a regimen of this or we're trying this. None of that. So it's like half of a file.
This person feels really bad.
Yeah, basically, this person feels really bad.
Yeah.
And then she leaves out the part where she talks about how they're trying to make them feel better.
So she's not treating people. She's just giving them placebos and writing down their miseries.
That seems to be. The other thing you notice is that you look through, I'm assuming you go to the files. So you see that all 5 victims have files in her drawer. And each one of them, so they're basically just plain old manila files with like the little tab that sticks up, and she has their names written on them. And you notice that some of them, including the victims, have like a little check mark next to the name on the file.
Oh. Not
Not all of them. Only a few of them have it. But it includes all the victims and like 3 other people.
All right, I'll make note of those other people.
Okay. But yeah, so all the you go through the files.
Check their files too, yeah.
Yes. Same thing. Notes about how distressed they are. So the commonality is that everyone lost at least one person in the tornado. It seems so. For this, if you want a little more, you're going to have to make a check. So you can use psychotherapy.
Okay. I will attempt it.
Yeah.
35 out of 30.
Okay, so that's the only commonality you get, is that they all seem to have lost someone in the tornado. But considering 3/10 of the town died, that's not that big of a stretch.
Sure. So I'm paging through and I don't really notice anything.
Yeah.
Those burners we've got, are they smartphones?
They're not smartphones, but they have cameras on them.
Okay. So I would say just take pictures and we'll sort it out later.
Sure, I've got my camera.
Yeah, you take pictures. So Ryan, you go through the desk. There'd be much there. It's more of just a writing desk.
Okay.
It seems like the things that you needed were the clues were in the filing cabinet.
Okay.
But you do find, I will tell you, you do find in the desk. What are you using to search it?
I guess criminology.
And what's your criminology at?
50.
Okay, you don't have to roll.
Okay.
So you find in one of the desk drawers, you find an envelope that has one of those forwarding address stickers on it, and it has an address in town made out to Aspen, to the doctor, Aspen Wells. So you have her address.
Bingo. All right. I think it's time for the E part of this B&E to be over.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Get out of here.
Professor,
Yes.
make an alertness check.
Oh, gosh. Oh, that's all right. Here we go. Nope. 97 out of 20.
Okay. Yeah, everything's fine.
All right.
So you two start making your way out, and just as you're walking out the door, lights wash over you from a passing car. You don't know if it sees you. You could try, if someone wants to roll dodge or stealth to maybe try to get out of the way.
Dodge is much better.
Yeah.
I will dive for the floor.
I would take either of those.
Yep.
I made
25 out of 50.
Meyer? Dodge or stealth?
Let's see. Dodge or stealth. All right. What's my? Oh, okay. Here we go. Well, I passed. 24 out of 50.
So you're all like kind of standing there and see, like, oh shit, and Kai and Angelina like hit the deck in the office, and Walter jumps behind a pillar in the front of the strip mall, and the lights go by, and you don't think that anyone saw you.
Ooh. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you leave. You head back to your car. So you're going to Dr. Wells' house?
I think so.
Okay. So you drive over. She's in town. The address, it's about 5 minutes from her house, from her office, off a few blocks off the main street. It seems like all the houses here are basically the exact same one-story layout. So you get in, you pull up in front of her house. It's about 10. Well, it was midnight when you broke in, so it's probably about 12:30-ish now. The lights are off, but there is a car in the driveway.
All right.
I mean, before we yeah, that's what you see.
Okay. I'm gonna. Can I just like give the place a quick once over? Like anything. I not that I suspect that she would be like the kind of person who would set a trap or something, but any kind of like escape route or
yeah, you can do criminology again.
okay. Possible means of egress? No. 71
You don't see
out of
anything.
50.
It's the same. It looks like, so you sneak around like the perimeter of the house. It looks like the same layout. You see there's a front door and there's a back door in the kitchen.
All right.
I mean, windows, but that's, I mean,
Yeah. Well, sure. Let's go knock on the door.
you're gonna knock on the door.
Or ring the bell. It's late, so figure I'll have to be there a while. Like I'll lean on it.
Okay. Who else is standing on the stoop with you? All three of you?
I will go around back and make sure they don't.
Okay.
I'll be off to the side.
Okay. So you're leaving Agent Malay on the stoop by yourself.
Listen, I'll go around back. Just make sure they don't make a break for it.
Good idea, Professor Tuttle.
No,
Okay.
I'll take the side of the building.
All right. So you ring the bell. You hear it go off. It takes a few minutes. You see the hall light come on, and you hear footsteps. Who is it?
I'm sorry to trouble you so late at night, Dr. Wells. It's Agent Malay from before. Our investigation is wrapping up, and I wanted to talk to you before we left town. I hope you don't mind.
Can't this wait until the morning?
Unfortunately, no, ma'am.
All right. You hear like a chain moving on the back of the door and the deadbolt, and then she opens it. Come on in. She looks like she's been asleep.
Okay. So I'm gonna I guess go into her wherever she leads me to have this discussion.
I guess to the kitchen table. What is it that you needed to talk to me about so urgently at 12:37 in the morning?
Well, I would like to know what you would have to make of this, and then I take the recording device. Which do I have that back from the police?
Sure. They did not find any fingerprints on it, though.
Okay, fair enough. I didn't expect that they would. I'm just gonna it's still in the handkerchief. I'm gonna place it on the table.
Well, they have it in a bag now. I mean,
okay,
it's like in an evidence bag.
Fine. I kind of wanted to be a little dramatic about it. I put it on the table.
Gotcha. Okay.
Under the handkerchief, but if it's in a bag, I'll just cover it with my hand, and then I'll pull my hand away so she can see what it is, and then I want to human her.
Sure.
28 out of 60.
Okay. She keeps her cool, but she twitches. You could tell she recognizes it, but she says, "What is that?"
It's a transmitting device, a bug that we found in Mr. Bertrand's phone, the ghost phone.
Well, that's disturbing that someone would be listening into people's private conversations like that.
I understand that you haven't used the phone yourself, but you left your card.
Yes, I spoke to Freddie about it, and he said that it would be all right. Is there something I can help you with? I don't know what that thing is, Agent.
Well, when I asked Mr. Bertrand who might have planted this bug, yours was the first name he came up with. You're the only.
What?
You're a stranger in town. You're the only one who hasn't ever used the phone for personal reasons. And you do seem to be something of a disaster ghoul.
Ryan, also make me an alertness check.
$42 out of 50.
Okay. So you noticed as you walked in, you couldn't get a good look, but there were hanging on the hallway. The furniture in here is sparse. It looks like it probably came furnished. But that seems like you could see that there were pictures in there, and the closest one you could see, it looked like it was Dr. Wells, but you couldn't get a good look at it. So she says, "Oh, he said I did it." Well, with your human success before, Um, she did put it there, and she's trying to come up with an excuse. Well, I don't know what that doddering old man is talking about.
That, and I take the pills out of my pocket. I spoke to the local pharmacist about these scripts you've been writing. Seems that these are sugar pills.
Yes, they are. I told Mrs. Petrelli that. I believe in a holistic approach, but when patients come in, they often expect pharmaceuticals. So I write them a prescription for a placebo, and the placebo effect is often very effective.
I see.
So you can tell with your humans, she's not lying. She does do that, but
It's not for the reason that she's telling me.
Yeah, right. But she is copying to prescribing placebos. That part is true.
Alex,
Yes.
can I see the conversation from the side of the house, or do I need to move around to the back?
They're in the kitchen, so you can kind of hear it through the kitchen door.
All right. I just want to get make sure I get a kind of a view of the conversation too. If I have to go into the backyard.
Do you want to see it without being seen, or do you just want to like stick your head in a window?
Well, if I can hear it, then I guess that's good enough.
Because the kitchen door is on the side of the house, so you're kind of like standing next to that, and you can hear them talking.
Okay.
If you were to stick your head in the window in the door, you would probably be able to see them. Probably you would be able to see them, but you can hear what they're saying.
Okay, I'm fine with hearing.
Okay.
I spoke to Mrs. Petrelli about the placebo. She was unclear about the course of treatment, other than prescribing sugar pills and horrifying invasions of therapy. Of privacy? What course of therapy do you use for your patients?
Do you have any psychotherapy, Ryan?
10%.
Make a roll.
All right.
And Chad, you can roll too.
Okay.
Because you're listening.
Holy shit!
Nope.
I got a 3.
Wow. Chad, did you succeed? I didn't hear.
I failed.
Okay. So she starts listing off a whole bunch of psychobabble stuff, which, Chad, it just kind of goes over your head. But Ryan, you realize it's bullshit. Like, she's throwing a whole bunch of psychotherapy buzzwords at you, and for a second it sounds like it's a course of treatment, but it's not.
Well, I've seen my fair share of therapists, being a cop over the course of my career, but that sounds like a line of bullshit, Doc. It's just
Agent
one.
Malay, was it?
Yes.
I need to get back to sleep, so I think you should leave.
I just have one more question. What do you get out of it? Listening to them, doing nothing for their pain, prescribing them drugs that have no effect. You just get off on it? Or is there something more to it?
Ryan, make a sand check.
Oh boy. Oh, fuck no. 88 out of 49.
Oh, okay. So take 3. It's unnatural, so you cannot adapt to that.
Hooray.
She leans in to you towards the table, and her entire complexion and face changes for a second. Her skin gets pale. It seems her skin gets pale. Her eyes turn like blood red. Her teeth are like fangs, and she leans in and says, "Get out." And then she leans back, and she's just normal Dr. Wells again.
All right. I like jump out of my chair. And I'm guessing since I crit failed a sand check, I like trip backwards out of the house, and I'm.
Well, you have, unless you hit your breaking point. Did you hit your breaking point?
No.
So you're still together.
Okay.
You just take the max possible sand loss. It was 1d3.
Okay.
So
my break point is 40. I'm at 46. So I'm still. I'm like,
okay.
What the fuck are you?
I'm a therapist, Agent Malay, and I am asking you to leave my home before I have to make you leave.
I
Take your friend with you.
I start like backing out of the room, and I say, it can't last, right? Eventually, someone's gonna notice. I'm gonna go back and do some talking, and maybe have a little chat with the APA, and maybe get a warrant and come and take a look at what you've been doing, do some digging, and eventually I'll find something that isn't quite as neat and holistic as you.
So Ryan, you back out of the kitchen into the hallway instead of back into the living room. So you're moving down the hallway, and you see the framed pictures on the wall, and you glance at them, and you see exact same face, hair's different, but these pictures, the one you're right next to looks like maybe it was taken in the 50s. There's one from the 60s. You can see a few from the 70s. That one looks like it's from Vietnam. And they're just on the wall, and she has not aged a day in any of them. So make another sand check.
Made that one. 32 out of 46.
All right, take one.
I look at the pictures, and I look back at her, and my God, it's keeping you young.
So what is something your character regrets, Ryan?
I'm gonna say that my first partner. I'm just gonna use the name I have the bond with.
Sure.
I came up with Agent Miguel Reyes.
Okay.
We were raiding. We were in a joint raid with the DEA on a drug cartel, and he got shot, and she always thought that it was her fault. He's paralyzed.
Yeah.
From the waist down. He's paraplegic.
So Wells is standing in the hallway. She's not moving towards you. She's just standing by the kitchen, the light from the kitchen spilling out and casting weird shadows over her face. If only poor Miguel were here, but you got him paralyzed. He can never go out in the field again because of you, Angelina. How does that make you feel?
Fuck are you?
I'm beyond your comprehension, little girl. Now, get out! And her form shifts again, in this just for a split second again. but this time it's not just her face; it's her whole body, and she seems to stand taller. Her hands are claws. Her hair is raggedy, and the nightgown she's wearing just sort of like hangs off her, like she's made of just skin and bones.
Do either of the other two see this?
No.
No.
Well,
Sounds like it's getting a little intense.
yeah, I was gonna say Chad could see it if he looks in. If Meyer's hanging in the backyard, he might be able to hear a shout, but he wouldn't be able to see anything.
I'm edging towards the front door now.
Okay. So you get towards the front door. You stick your head in. You're there just in time. So make a sand check, Chad.
Why not?
Share the fun.
Mm-hmm. Nope, I fail. 89 out of 70.
Alrighty. Let me roll my dice here. You take 2.
Okay.
As you see, so you get to the front door just as she yells at Angelina again to get out, and you see her form shift like that, just for a split second. Like you blink and it's gone, and then Dr. Wells is standing there again. But she was not Dr. Wells for a second.
So I heard yelling.
You heard "Get out!" Not from Angelina.
I see.
Yeah, in that case, do I have to make another sand check for this?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, I am kind of expecting it, but at the same time, it is horrifying and unnatural. So.
Yeah. You can't adapt to unnatural.
No, I missed that.
No. All right. That's 1d3.
Can I try to break
one more for you?
Break into the back door?
Do you want to like pick the lock, or you just want to kick it?
Pick the lock. Stealth it.
Yeah. Well, that would be criminology.
Okay. Let's see what I get. Since she's distracted and all, I could.
Mm-hmm. Since she is distracted, I'll give you. What's your criminology at?
10.
I'll give you plus 10.
Ooh. I go 15. 15 out of 10.
Yeah. So it's really just like a screen door.
Yeah.
Not that much. So you just basically like take a credit card or something and like wiggle it in the slot a bit, and open it up, and you like slowly open the door so it doesn't make a screech, and then open the inside door. So you're in the kitchen.
Yeah.
You could see her. Why not? You make the sand check too.
Okay.
Sand checks for everybody.
What's my sand? Sand's right now. I passed.
All right, so take 1.
Okay.
Wow, 43 out of 44.
For what?
For my sand check. You said for everybody.
Oh, no. I just meant that everyone gets to.
Okay. All right. In that case.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see her shift for a second, and then blink your eye. The light must have hit your eyes weird.
Now I know.
She has not noticed you.
Well, I know she's a monster now.
You have an inkling. Yes.
Does she have like a set of like knives on the counter
in the kitchen?
Like there's always like cooking knives.
Butcher's
block.
block.
Here's the thing. You don't see any cooking instruments or anything like that in the kitchen, but luck in this system is a 50-50 shot. So tell me, do you want to roll high or low, Meyer?
Give me high.
All right, so I will roll.
The first one was high, baby.
61. Okay. There is like one of those knife sets in like in the wood blocks.
Yeah.
But you notice you don't see there's no dishwasher in here, but there's no drying rack next to the sink. There's like a cup in the sink. That's it.
Okay.
But you do see a knife.
I'll grab the knife.
All right, so that's going to be a stealth check.
Okay.
Because you got into the house.
Can I help? Can I help Professor Tuttle by like trying to distract her? Did I see this happening over her shoulder?
Yeah, you could see him sneaking in.
All right.
So, yeah, what do you want to roll to distract her?
I'm just gonna call it like.
You want to roll human to like
Sure, or I could do persuade. Either way,
persuade? Yeah, persuade would work. Yeah.
Or no, human is slightly better. So I'm just going to be like.
Yeah, you're trying to like read her and say the right thing to keep her on you.
All right, hang on. See how that goes. No, 89. Sorry, Meyer.
Okay. So just Meyer doesn't get a bonus. It doesn't mean he fails.
All right, and I still don't get a bonus for still being like.
Well, no, that's why it's a stealth check.
Okay.
So if you fail, you'll get the knife, but she'll know you're there.
20 out of 30.
Okay. You sneak over and slide the knife out, and she still doesn't seem to notice you.
Okay.
So what are you saying to her?
You sick, twisted bitch. What have you been? You've been eating their pain. You've been feeding off of their misery. You know we can't let you walk away from this.
She smiles and starts to slowly walk toward you. I don't really see that there's much you can do about it. You think you're the first in 200 years to find me out? Do you know what you all have in common, you people who hunt me down? Your regrets are so delicious. And she shifts again and does not change back. So everyone make another sand check, because you cannot get accustomed to unnatural. Because now you see it just standing in front of you.
That one
I passed. 58 out of 68, I passed.
Okay.
I got 58 out of 68.
Wow.
You guys got a lot of sanity. I gotta say.
Ryan?
31 out of 44.
Okay. It's still going to be 1.
Okay.
But yeah, so like I said before, so as she steps towards you, Ryan, there's just like, it's like between steps, she just changes and she gets a foot taller. So she's sort of like stooped over a little bit. And her mouth gets wider and just full of pointed teeth.
I want to attack her.
One sec. But and her hands are larger and her fingers just end in claws. And she's walking towards you like fangs bared. So she does not know you're there, Meyer. So you get surprise. So roll. It would be. I'm trying to see if Blades has its own or if it's just like melee.
Melee.
I think it's just melee weapons. Yeah. So roll melee weapons.
I saw that. Yeah, melee.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that, and I am getting a knife out of my pocket, and I'm going in through the front door.
Yeah.
Do I get
I will
a bonus?
give you. Yeah, I was gonna say I'll give you plus 20 because she does not know you're
20. Wow. All right, good. I really needed that because I got a 44 out of. Now it's 50.
44. Okay, critical success.
Yeah.
So that does double damage. So, Shadows, what did I say the knife get? Was it 1d4 damage? Okay, so roll 2d4. Or no, roll 1d4 and double it, Meyer.
Okay. 8. I got a 4.
Nice. Okay. So let me just mark this. No, that was the wrong number. Okay. So she's walking towards you, Angelina, and she's got this preternatural smile on her face, like the cat who has the mouse in a corner. And you see Professor Tuttle leap out from behind the kitchen and just the knife like right into her back next to her shoulder blade, and she screams and lets out this hideous ear-piercing sound. You hear a car alarm across the street go off, and she like spins around and pushes the professor away. So you don't take damage, but like you stab her and take a step back. She knows you're there now.
Yeah.
All right.
You've lost the element of surprise.
Makes sense.
So this is like a suburban town, so we got close neighbors.
Yeah, they're pretty close.
Say again.
So, yes, they're pretty close.
Okay.
So now it is combat. So, like Call of Cthulhu, it just goes in order of dex. So, what's everyone's dex?
My dex.
Mine is 12.
I got a 10.
I also have a 10.
All right. Well, she goes first. So, Monster, Shadows, and then Ryan and Meyer. Okay. So, yeah, combat. Meyer, she's a little pissed at you. So she,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so she is going to strike out at you with her claws.
Okay.
So you can roll dodge to get out of the way.
Okay. So is that knife I stabbed her still in her shoulder now, or do I?
You got a crit, so no, you pulled it out.
Okay. I rolled. What's my? I probably failed. Yeah, I failed. 72 out of 50, so I failed.
All right. Well, she got a critical success.
Yeah. Okay.
So you take 12 points of
I'm
damage. Sorry.
It's okay. Oh wait. Oh yeah.
So-
my max is 12. Yeah, I'm dead.
No, I believe you're only dead when you go past you're dying.
I think you have to get down to -2.
Oh no, wait, HP. 10. I'm dead. Yeah, I'm dead.
Oh, okay. Then you're dead. All right. So Ryan and Chad make another sand check.
Yeah.
Damn.
No.
33 out of 68. I got a crit.
All right. Chad, you take 1.
Lottie
Ryan,
down, Mr. Stability himself.
Ryan, that's 4.
Okay. That's my break point.
Okay. Well, so this is what happens. So this thing in front of you screams and spins around, and with surprising speed, just like rakes its claws down Professor Tuttle and just splits him open. Like she just rakes across him, and you see him scream as his guts just spill out onto the floor, and he
I
collapses.
just want you to know, I got high when I was out back.
So Ryan, you hit your break points, so you suffer fight, flight, or panic.
Shit.
So you either just fucking run, you fight, or you freeze.
I'm gonna go with fight. I feel like watching someone getting torn in half is gonna cause Agent Malay to whip out her pistol and empty it into this thing.
That's fair.
Neighbors be damned.
All right, Chados, you're up next, though. You saw the same thing.
I burst through the door and I launch myself at this thing.
Okay, are you stabbing it with your knife too?
Yes.
Chados, melee.
Let's try it. Nope. 42 out of 30.
No, okay. You run for it and you and stab at it, but it just like sidesteps you and snarls, and you can see the blood from Professor Tuttle just running off. It's like it's coated in it. Her nightgown is just red with blood and it's like sticking to her. Ryan.
Yeah, firing off some 38 rounds into it.
Yeah, roll some firearms.
All right. 50% chance. I got an 89.
All right, you fire wide. Let me just double check real quick. I don't know if firearms. Chados, do you know, do firearms get 2 shots per round?
I think it's all just 1 shot per round.
Yeah, I think so.
Unless you're doing like a area.
Like an automatic.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you go wide. All right. So top of the round, it's the monster again. Kai, I'm sorry, you're right there. So it's going to grab you this turn. So it is making an unarmed check.
Okay.
You can dodge, though.
I will try to dodge. Can I do unarmed combat to kind of fight, push it back?
Yeah, sure. If you want to do the counter it, sure.
Yeah, it's a little better chance anyway. Nope. 56 out of 40.
Okay. It succeeded. It got a 7. So it grabs you. It doesn't do any damage this round, but it like grabs you by both sides by your arms and lifts you up so that you're face to face with it. Ryan, it's your turn, Shadow. So you can, if you want to make an unarmed check, you can try to break away. It would be contested, or if you want, you could.
I think I did that with my contesting there.
Yeah, I was also you could, if you want to try to make a melee check at a penalty, you could like try to stab her, and if you hit her, she might let you go.
All right, I'll try.
So it's gonna be minus 10.
All right. 23 out of 20.
Oof. She's just got you at the wrong angle. You can't get the knife up to hit her.
Yeah.
So Ryan, you can shoot her. She is holding Kai in front of her, though. So it's going to be a minus 20 penalty to shoot unless you don't care about shooting through him.
I'm shouting, kill it, kill it.
Which you're in a blind fury, so you do not.
Yeah, so I'm good.
Yeah, so roll.
Now, is there like I noticed there are willpower points.
You could, if you want, if you want to retroactively try to project some of your sanity away, your insanity, you can do that. You can spend willpower to do that.
Okay. I'm okay with that for now. I'm fine being crazy shooty lady over here.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna make like crazy shooty lady and shoot.
Sure.
That I make 10.
Okay. That's a decent success. So, well, 10 out of what?
10 out of 50. It would have been 30 if I had cared about not hitting Kai.
Kai, make a luck check. Just high or low, and you pick and roll.
Roll it, or you want me to roll it?
You can roll it.
All right, I will go low. 40.
Okay. You did not hit Kai. So roll your damage, Ryan.
Okay. 7.
7. Nice. I have to math. There we go. All right. She screams again as the bullet hits her in the arm or like the upper shoulder. So for her turn, she is going to throw Kai at you.
Of course she is.
So she is making a strength check.
Can I dodge?
Yes, you can. And Kai, you can roll. I'm trying to see if there's like an athletics. Not really.
Yeah, there's an athletics.
Oh, yeah, there is. Roll athletics to land properly.
Okay.
Oh, let's see how well she does first.
I got 50 out of 30.
10. 50 out of 30. Okay. Ryan?
I'm dodging out of the way.
Yeah.
Let's see. 29 out of 50.
Okay, so you dodge out of the way. She throws Kai where you were. Kai,
wait.
you.
I know I'm probably screwing myself here, but can I technically do that because I am in a blind fury and just attacking?
Yeah, you could dodge.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna.
Coming at you.
Yeah, okay.
You just can't like do anything else other than try to kill this thing in front of you.
Right.
But,
like I couldn't try to call Johnson and be like, "We need fucking backup." I just have to shoot.
You want to kill this thing, but if it's attacking you, then you can get out of the way.
Okay.
All right. So Kai, you take 1 point of damage as you kind of get smacked into the wall.
Oof.
Better than getting torn in fucking half.
Yeah. Oh, I decided it was 1d3 and I rolled a 1, so there you go. Turn now, Kai.
All right. Jesus. I go after her again with the knife. I'll try to get around her, so
You want to try to like flank her?
A shot anyway. 01 out of 30.
She does not dodge, so roll for damage.
Sweet. 3 points of damage. Armor.
Okay.
Person.
Yeah. You like run up and slash her with the blade, and you see her flesh tear open, and she turns her head and like hisses at you. Ryan, I'm sorry, Angelina.
Say again? Sorry.
You're up.
Okay. It's worked so well for me before. I got to keep pumping rounds into her.
Yeah, pull that trigger.
Another 10.
Okay, roll for damage.
Another 7.
Another 7. Nice. All right. She's looking a little haggard. She's got many wounds in her. She's covered in blood, but it's hard to tell what's hers and what's from Professor Tuttle. But you could see that her demeanor is starting to change a little bit. She's a little less confident. So it's her turn. She is going to lunge at you, Kai.
Okay.
And so she is going to try to claw you like she did to Professor Tuttle.
Let her do it.
She does not. She got a 91.
Oh,
so you don't have to dodge. You just like sidestep out of the way, and she misses you and turns and like she's like gets low like a predator ready to pounce and hisses at you. So you're up.
Stabby.
Make with the stabby.
Nope, 92 out of 30.
All right, so you go to swing at her again, but she's like on the defensive now, so she like ducks under you. Mm-hmm. Ryan.
I'm shooting.
Shoot away.
Where are we now? Have we like moved this ridiculous ballet of?
You're out of the hallway. She's dodged into the living room now.
Okay.
So there's a little more space.
All right. So yeah, I'm just finger inside the trigger guard. I'm jumping out. I'm gonna use the wall as cover. Jump out, okay. Shoot at her, and then dive back into cover.
Gotcha. Roll it.
On the nose, 50 out of 50.
All right, roll damage.
Okay. 5.
5. Okay. She hisses again. She is not having a good day. She is going to bug the fuck out. So she is going to try to just jump out the window. So she is rolling dodge. And she does. So, Ryan, you duck behind the wall. Chad, you're standing there staring as she just turns and leaps. And, Ryan, you hear the crash as the big bay window that sits in the front of the living room. She just crashes through it and lands on the front lawn.
Nice.
Jesus.
So what are you guys doing? Chados, you're up.
I run to the window to look out at and hopefully see her.
Yeah, she's still there.
And just
if you want to make an athletics check, you could try to follow her.
I'll try. Why not?
I will tell you this. Either way, before you roll, you'll get outside. If you fail, you'll take damage and cut yourself on the glass.
Okay, I'm going for it. 36 out of 30. Nope.
Okay, so you take 2 points of damage. You like leap over and slice your leg open on a shard of glass. But you land like right behind her. That's your turn though.
Okay.
Ryan.
It's there.
I'm running and leaping out the window as well.
Okay. Make athletics check. Same condition.
All right. No, 87 out of 30.
Okay. 2 points of damage for you.
All right.
But you're both on the lawn right behind her. She looks over her shoulder at you. Her eyes are wide. It looks like she's actually scared, and she takes off running. So she is going to make an athletics check, which she succeeds. So with her long legs, she takes off and starts running down the block. It's going to be hard to keep up with her if you're going on foot.
Say again. Sorry, you kind of broke up.
Sorry, she takes off running down the block, and with her long legs, she's fast. So it's going to be hard to keep up with her if you're on foot. If you're chasing after her, she's still in range if you want for another turn or two. If you just want to shoot her, though. But Chad, if you want to run after her to stab her, you're going to have to run.
I'm going for the car.
Okay. You could do. You don't have to roll. I'm just going to say you spend your turn. I'm assuming you're getting behind the wheel.
Yep.
All right. So you spend your turn running to the car and getting in and starting it. That's your turn.
Okay.
All right.
Ryan.
I am going to shoot at her.
Do it.
4 out of 50.
That hits. Roll for damage.
Another 5.
Another 5. Okay. You hit her and she like spins and screams and keeps running. So she's going to make another athletics check to try to get away from you, which she succeeds. So Shadows, you're up.
All right.
That's going to be drive.
Start healing out. Nope, 65 out of 20.
Okay, so you take off, but the wheel spins a bit, so you fishtail. So you just kind of stay in place for a second as you're trying to catch up with her.
Okay.
Ryan, you've got like another. You can still hit her this round. Next round, it's going to be at a penalty.
All right, I'm gonna shoot while I can get the shot, and then I'm gonna run.
Okay.
Round. Another 4. Jesus.
Roll for damage.
Another 5. My dice are coming up the same numbers again.
She had 5 hit points left. So
Yay!
you take aim and you shoot and you hear the shot ring out and you hear a rah! And her like arms flail up and she just falls down on the street, unmoving.
Oh wait, Shadows is paying for this, so you should let him get the kill.
Okay. So you shoot her.
Run her over.
And she staggers up like onto her hands and knees like she's about to get up. And then her face is illuminated by the headlight of the car. And she looks over her shoulder as all of a sudden, boom, she is smacked by, I'm assuming you're flooring it.
Sure.
Yeah. So you smack into her, and you see, you're not sure if it's her whole body or half of it. It's hard to tell because everything's happening really fast. Yeah. Something definitely goes flying down the block. And then you feel a boom behind you. So you're thinking maybe it was like her top half. And it comes to rest about 30 feet in front of you. As you like slam on the brakes and bring the car to a stop.
Yep.
So you guys, if it matters, you can get back 2 sanity points for killing a creature.
Hooray!
So yay.
Almost back to maximum.
Angelina, your vision clears, your bloodlust goes away, and you're just standing in front of the house panting. And it is not long before you hear the sirens. And the police chief comes driving up and gets out of the car. What the fuck is going on? And we'll leave it there.
Yeah.
So you guys, you managed to stop the psychic vampire. Good job. Meyer, I'm sorry you got eviscerated.
Hey, I went down like a big damn hero. Thank you very much.
You did.
Awesome.
You got a good hit on her. I was not expecting to roll a critical success and then like maximum damage for her attack, basically. But yeah, so that was Calls to the Dead. I hope what you guys think.
Yeah, it was fun.
I enjoyed it.
Good. Yeah, I liked it.
Okay. I got the idea from an episode of This American Life. So if anyone wants to go listen to that, it's a touching and heartbreaking story that's not involved psychic vampires. But the telephone on the hill thing is real. It's there's a town in Japan. A guy bought a phone booth for similar reasons, so he could talk to his dead cousin. And then a tsunami hit, and lots of people in the town died. And then people kept coming. Then people started coming to his phone to talk to their dead relatives. That's what the piece is about.
Nice. And then a psychic vampire taps it.
Then a psychic vampire taps it. Yeah. Yep. So basically, that's what she was. She was a psychic vampire, and she fed off people's grief and sorrow. So she realized that disaster zones were a great place for that. And then once therapy became a thing, she realized that if she was a grief counselor, people would come to her
and just talk about their pain
and just pour out their grief, and she would be able to find basically like the ripest people to then go eat. So she was prescribing placebos to people so that they wouldn't get any actual help. And then in therapy sessions, just kept like bringing up terrible memories so that these people would just get sadder and sadder until, you know, they were making for good eating. She didn't have to be right there. She could be nearby, which is why people never saw her, but she was like outside the house and would suck their sorrowful soul out of them and eat it. Which was kind of like the weird noise and why the lights were flickering. Yeah. So if you hadn't started fighting her, she would have just left town. So there would have been a dangling thread, but you guys got her.
I was actually thinking if she was amenable to it, which we kind of like chose to kill her. I was thinking about recruiting her.
I mean, maybe she has to kill people to feed, though.
Okay. So they might not be as.
Yeah, it wasn't like she was feeding during her sessions. It was like
she was
basting her meats. Yeah.
Gotcha.
She was getting them good and ready so that she could eat them later. Yeah. All right. So if you guys want, I was thinking we could do Delta Green. I know, Chados, you said you like Delta Green. So I have some other games in mind. If you guys want to do like a maybe brief campaign for Patreon, if that's okay with you, or we can do something else next time. Meyer obviously would need a new character.
Really? Why was that?
Well, I mean,
we can scrape up Professor Tuttle and
yeah.
It is Delta Green. It would not be impossible for Professor Tuttle to come back.
Exactly.
However, if he did, it would be as an NPC that everyone else had to kill because.
And I only have 41 sanity left, so please let's.
Yeah. Well, there are mechanics for getting your sand back between. So basically, it has a red mark. It's kind of ripped off the mechanics from this, so you can like spend time with your dependents or like go spend time in nature, and there's ways to regain some of your sanity. But we might need different characters, something a little more specialized for the next game. But if we want to do that, we can talk about that later. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And for our listeners, I hope you enjoyed it. That was, as I said, I closed it. Ghosts in the Wind.
Calls from the Dead.
Calls from the Dead. That was it. The Phone of the Wind, I think, was what the Japanese translation was for that telephone. But it was a really good piece from This American Life. If you want to be really sad and listening to people talking to their dead loved ones, you should listen to that. All right. So we are signing off. Anyone have any last will thoughts?
Psychic vampires are a very real threat.
It's true. All right. We'll talk to you next time.